following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, we will have our latest Recreate Yourself segment with Brad J. Brown from Brad J. Resumes. We'll talk NBA as the playoffs heat up. We welcome our latest Patreon supporters. And as always, we'll answer some listener questions and wrap things up with some trivia. All that and more. Let's go.
Yo, we about to defy life. It's more than just about some football. All my sports teams off season go through withdrawals, 30 minutes to tip off. Like Rakim was saying, we got ideas, give me ear problems. Sound like thunder and rain. I'm excited that you came on this journey with three of my friends. Defy life till we die and grow wings. Just a different perspective. Haters in every direction. Refuse to live my life based off your projections. Their expectations are lazy. My expectations are crazy. My lady defies me. Koozie, Brown, Brady, Jordan, LeBron, Aaron, Bonds, Mayweather, Ali Foreman. You get the picture, greatest ever born. I attack without warning. This is not around the horn. The other shows whack, a lot of yawning. You really want to be the best, got to pay the price. We make winning look easy. Welcome to Defy Life. Defy Life.
Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. Thank you for listening. You can find the Defy Life Podcast on iTunes, Google Play Music, GoDefyLife.com, and everywhere else your favorite podcasts are available. As always, we encourage you to like, subscribe, and give us a 5-star rating whenever you listen. You can also find us on all social media platforms at Go Defy Life. This is episode 106, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, J.R. Glymph, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Thomas Stevens, Yusuf English, West Coast Jay. How's it going today, Thomas?
It's going very, very well, sir. Just fixed me a nice cold glass of Arnold Palmer. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I thought you were about to say you for a cold beer or a cold glass of tequila or something. But, hey, you playing it safe tonight.
Right. I don't want to be talking crazy out here, so, you know.
Hey, man, by all means, this is Defy Life. Talk crazy.
True that.
No doubt. It's good to have you back, sir. You off the they got you off the main line, so you are available on Tuesdays now. So it's good to have you back.
Man, it's great to be back. It's great to be back.
No doubt. Yusuf English, how's it going today, sir?
How y'all doing today? I'm here, you know. Unlike my man Thomas, who has a nice tall glass of Arnold Palmer, I have a very short glass of room temperature Hennessy. And I'm enjoying a wind down. It's been a long day, and I think when you're dealing with other people's children, you always got to wind it down and lay back and hopefully bring something to the ladies out there who have been thinking about me all week.
I'm sure they have.
How you doing, ladies?
Oh, man. Well, it's good to have you here. Since I got you and Pooh on the same show, happy Teacher Appreciation Day to both of you.
Appreciate that, man.
Hey, thanks for the love. Thanks for the love.
No doubt.
Appreciate the love, bro.
Pooh, I know you missed the conversation last week. It was a great one. But Yosh represented you well, and all the other teachers. Al as well. But
Appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, man. From Defy Life and me personally, I know what y'all put up with and know what you go through. It's funny, I was on the elevator at work the other day, and this lady was like, "Oh my God, I don't want to be here." And this was yesterday. It's Monday morning. You know how people feel about Mondays, and I just don't buy into that whole thing. And I was like, well, you know, at least it could be worse. We could be chasing somebody's kids around or digging somebody's ditches. He was like, you know what? You're right. So we know what you put up with. And I consider myself lucky that I don't have to chase nobody's kids around because I know how those long days can be for y'all. So salute to both of you, gentlemen.
Appreciate it. somebody told me that listens to the show. They said, "Man, you sounded angry." I said, "If you saw my check, you sound angry too."
Yeah.
Yo, I second that. I second that.
If you saw my check, you'd be angry too.
Oh man, we can all look forward to the days of the Defy Life Teachers Fund. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay.
Defy Life University.
Yeah, I hope so.
Right, yeah. West Coast Jay, how's it going, man?
Oh man, you already know I'm over here.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, you already know what it is, man. You know what it is. Yo, so I appreciate you, Mike. Oh man, it's great to be here, gentlemen. I am enjoying everything. Sitting here watching Kawhi just decide to dunk on.
Oh my God! Did you see that?
Of Pennsylvania.
Right.
Like, I don't know if he's trying to dunk on the state of Pennsylvania or not, but there's a lot going on, and it ain't cool.
At least East Pennsylvania.
Yeah, at the very least. Like, it ain't cool. But other than that, man, I'm good. Happy to be here. How's everybody else doing? Happy Teacher Appreciation Day to both of you gentlemen that are in the educational field. If it were not for you, it would be a whole lot of kids on these streets doing way worse than they actually are. It'd be a whole lot of people in the elevators talking to JR any kind of way, because they actually do gotta chase their kids around if it wasn't for y'all.
Really?
It'd be, seriously, without y'all it wouldn't be, there's not enough that can be said to say thanks. So thank you for real.
Absolutely. Well, and Jay, for those of you who don't know, me and Jay probably live a good 30-second car ride away from each other. And Jay, my wife had some Puerto Rican chicken empanadas she was making, and she was like, "Why don't you take Jay some?" But I got busy and did some other shit, so the neighbors got your empanadas.
All right. I mean, hey, but at the very least, I was thought of. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm gonna follow the theme of this tall glass. It's Siete de Mayo, so I got this nice ice cold Corona, no lime. You know what I'm saying? That's how I get there.
Well, damn, y'all got drinks with names and shit. I got a squirt bottle of water. So I will name this shit some ice cold bottle of Cinco de Agua or some shit. So yeah,
that works.
Yeah, a fifth of water. That's what we have. Oh man, well let's get this shit rolling. Shout out to Al and Money, man. We miss y'all. Al is his son is actually graduating college tomorrow, so congrats. Yeah, so he got a house full of people, and he couldn't get away for 3 hours, and I don't know what the hell made him think he would be able to, so he figured that shit out today. And Money, we all our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family, Money. You had a death in the family, so shout out to Money. We love you, dude. Our hearts are with you.
Yep.
So let's get right into it, man. Tonight we got our second segment of Recreate Yourself with Brad J. Brown. So looking forward to that. Tonight we're gonna focus on the interview portion, the interview part of getting a job and moving your career along, leveling up on your career. So looking forward to that. Before we start the meat of the show, I just want to do a little bit of house cleaning. First, our latest patron, I want to give a shout out to Toya C. from Soulful Healings. She's been a guest on. She's a friend of the show. So, Soulful Healings, shout out to you, Toya. Shout out to you. Thank you for becoming our latest patron, and your name has been added to the Defy Life Wall of Fame on GoDefyLife.com. So, salute to you, Toya. Nextly. Nextly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You got it.
Yeah, that's a word I learned in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Jay talk. But yeah. So before we get into the real news that we had written down,
I hate when you do this.
I know I ran across some shit before, and this is kind of a news topic too. But did any of y'all hear about the dude in Queens who burned his 3-year-old daughter because he lost custody? Burned her to death.
Excuse me?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my God. Yo. So
hold on, let me see if I can pull that.
Yeah, so
we
the
can
dude's
get
name
audio.
is Martin Pereira. P-E-R, like the NFL official. So Pereira. Pereira.
Eria.
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 No.
So
Peria.
yeah, so little girl's 3 years old, and he got into a bitter custody dispute with his child's mom, and he lost custody. But the mother, he wanted to see his daughter, and apparently he'd been like just reading through like his Facebook page and Facebook comments of people that knew him over the past few months. He just been getting really petty and just doing shit, and following up on shit that a lot of people say when they lose custody of their kids. I know that's a hard time. However, the mom decides, hey, I know he talking reckless to me. I know he probably want to hurt me, but I never thought he'd do anything to our daughter. So this dude, he's 36. I'll just tell you the account of the story. So he's riding down
Jay.
the street. Yeah.
Jay, you want me to just go ahead and play the news clip?
That perfect. Yes, you got the clip.
All right.
Play it.
Yeah, I got the clip pulled up. All right, here we go.
What Martin Pereira is accused of doing to his sweet-faced 3-year-old daughter Zoe Pereira is unfathomable, allegedly trapping her in the back seat of this car on 154th Street and Baisley Boulevard in Springfield Gardens, Queens, and setting it on fire. Police say the rear doors were chained shut.
Terrible. I didn't even sleep last night because I was just thinking about that little baby.
Shortly before the fire Sunday night, police say Zoe's mother called police to report a custody dispute with Pereira. The parents were engaged to be married but broke up after 5 years together. Police say the former couple has a history of domestic incidents, both accusing each other of abusing their daughter. Pereira recently filed a complaint against Zoe's mother with the Administration for Children's Services. How the toddler's life ended sickens so many who witnessed the horror. Some wonder if it was an accident or if intentional. Did Pereira almost change his mind?
He just pulled on the door and the door wasn't opening. Like it was locked, like shut.
Police took Pereira into custody at a nearby pond. They also recovered 2 fuel canisters in the car and a propane tank next to it. Pereira's Valley Stream neighbors can't understand how anyone could take the life of a child, especially a parent.
Think about
Man, fuck that nigga, man.
Fuck
Word.
that nigga. Yo.
I don't know, Jay. I don't even know what question you have following that shit.
No, I just wanted to ask if y'all, because it ain't no question to ask. And then, like, before he did it, apparently he texted the mom.
Yeah.
Like, I hope I got your attention now, bitch. Like, oh, do I have your attention now, you crazy bitch? You'll never see your daughter again. So, like, before he knew he had this whole shit planned. Like, shoot, like, do it. No, don't even shoot him. Like, burn him, shoot him, resuscitate him, burn him, shoot him again, run him over with a truck. Like, oh,
his
You
ass
gotta
in the
get
fucking
medieval on him.
right.
Put his ass in the car and light that shit on fire. They said
Yeah.
two gasoline cans and a
propane.
propane tank.
Right.
Like, whatever you get, how many times you get fucked in jail in the ass,
Yeah.
you deserve every second of it. Every
Drop-
goddamn second.
Drop that motherfucker off in central Mississippi or East Tennessee. in
With the
middle of
Aryan Nation.
Clanville. You're right.
He just get,
Yeah.
and he just get whatever he get. Like,
Drop
I
his ass off.
because that's some like, these type of disputes happen all the time.
Right.
Amongst a breakup, because basically the kid becomes an object that both adults use
As a weapon.
as a weapon, weaponize their child. And what's sad about it is, like, it happens more times than it doesn't. And then shit like this happens. And then shit like this happens. And then so then what now? So what now?
All right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, you done killed your daughter, dog. Like, your own flesh and blood. Something you created, a life you brought into this world. I hope you burn in hell with gasoline draws on for the rest of eternity. And I don't get it. I think no matter what argument you've had with a parent, with your significant with the other, if you're broken up, I don't think you ever look at your kid and go, I want to kill you because I hate her.
Yeah.
I mean, like, who does that shit?
And then who are you punishing? Like, it's your child. Like, who the fuck are you punishing? Like that's some sick shit, man.
And West Coast, I don't know if you have kids, but shit, like, I know for the rest of us, like, I can't, there's none of my kids I could look in the eye. Like, you have to literally consciously look at your child, put your child in the car, lock the doors. You have to lock the doors, light the shit on fire, and watch it.
Put chains
the doors,
on the doors.
shut.
Like, they said it was so bad that they was able to get the chains off because the door handles melted and the chains fell off. That was the only way they was able to even get to the little girl. Of course, it was too late.
It was too late.
It was like to know that you are intentionally making it to where nobody can get to her. Like, I can't even imagine being in that frame of mind.
Yeah, I can't fathom being in that frame of mind.
Shit.
There's nothing that could ever. I know I don't have kids, Yosh, but I do have nieces, nephews, cousins, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The concept of even beginning to think of I'm gonna hurt this kid to get at her. Mental illness is one thing. This is homicidal something else. Like, this is, this kind of person, you got to get, that's medieval. Like, you got to get medieval back. Like, this kind of person deserves something ridiculous to happen. Yeah. Like, it's not even this. Like, I'm talking about like strapping feral cats in a burlap sack to them and throwing them in the river type shit.
Yeah, like, so yeah, I just saw that like right before we came on. So yeah, I ain't had no question about it. Just wanted to see if y'all saw it, and that's
it's horrible.
That's ridiculous, is what it is.
Right, but yeah, our first official news story. So this is just dope as fuck to me. For the first time in Miss America, Miss USA, and Miss Teen USA are all black. So, like, for one, because we all know like the history of like just separatism and within the pageant industry. And the reason, well, first of all, let me give these ladies a shout out. So, Chelsea Christ, 28, she won the Miss USA contest back in September. No, Miss USA contest recently. Kaylee Garris, who was 18, won Miss Teen USA. And Nia Franklin, who was 25, was crowned as the 2019 Miss America in September. So all three at one time. It's like it's a grand slam. We got the grand slam in pageants. But it's dope. And if you think, like, because a lot of times when we bring up, it's the first black this or first black that, I've had white folks ask me, like, why is that so important that it's the first black anything? Like, so just to give some perspective, like, as long as these pageants have been going on, like one of them up to 109 years, Vanessa Williams became the first black woman to win Miss America in 1984. Carol Gist won Miss USA in 1990. And Janelle Bishop first won Miss Teen USA in 1991. So when we were like young adolescents and teenagers, preteens, it was folks never seen a black Miss USA. Like, how crazy is that people have the nerves to ask us, why is this so important? Dude, what do you say to folks who don't get why it's so important when the first black anything happens in this country?
Well, first off, let me say this. I think that it's become such a norm that other things kind of are okay, and we should not be happy about firsts anymore because it's so long since slavery, and quote unquote we have so many firsts.
All right.
So since we have so many firsts, we really shouldn't be happy about any of this. You know, like we should be like, it's become a norm now that we're going to be getting a lot of firsts because we're finally, I had somebody actually bring this up in an argument. Well, you guys are getting a lot of recognition now. So, you know, and I'm like, okay, I could punch you in your shit, but right now I'm going to be an intellectual because this is one of my coworkers, and I really, like, she wasn't being malicious. I honestly feel like this is just her, Southern white woman, early 70s, late 60s. You know, she was a very nice lady. She just said some racist shit. Right. And I just think that that's the way the majority feels. Mm-hmm. They just feel that we should be used to first, so we shouldn't glorify our first. We shouldn't glorify these victories when they are just that, victories. I don't even watch these pageants.
Right.
I don't even, but I must say, for the record, Miss USA and Miss America, I can't speak for Miss Teen USA.
No.
But I mean, Jesus, have you taken a look at them?
Yeah.
Hi, Nia Franklin.
Oh my God.
Hi, Chelsea Chris.
Yeah, hello.
Miss West Coast.
Hey, I need us to know.
Colors in your direction. She's correct.
Want you to want me to. Hey, if you listen to the show, which I'm pretty sure you do, because you know we on here. I'm just saying, just let you know we want you. Hey, but go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take that away.
Nah, I feel you.
They are fine.
They are. And you know, for one, I'm gonna play my my Jordan Peele card here too. Was the skinny white ladies with blonde hair and blue eyes? I've seen that movie before. I'm grateful to see.
Gotcha.
I'm grateful to see some melanin on that stage with a tiara and a sash on. So
the Triple Crown, baby.
Right. So salute. I just wanted to give them a salute, man. Nothing really deep. Yeah, Pooh, you in a position to comment on these women, or are you still?
I'm gonna say stage for you, Pooh.
I do want to say, hold on. I do want to say that I guess they just don't understand the monumental landmark of someone being able to visualize or see someone that look exactly like them, and how much that breathes life into the next generation to strive for that. Because they've always seen themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, so and they kind of desensitized.
They've always right, exactly. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, they had their first so many years ago.
Right. Yeah, they never saw the first.
Yeah. Right. They don't even remember what happened. Like, we could go back to the history of it all. You know, during the 1930s, the Miss America pageant organizers instituted the notorious rule number 7 of their entry guidelines, stipulating that all contestants must be of good health and of the white race. That's an actual rule written down. And up until 84, that was still holding true. And then in 84, she won, and they took her back to they still tried to tear her down.
Yeah. After she won it.
After she won, and they brought up some stuff that she had done way back before, when she was just an aspiring art student.
Right.
And tried to, this is it's monumental on so many different levels, but the simplest level is, because we ain't did it before. What you mean? Why are we excited about it? What part of the game? If you have never won a championship, you're excited the first time it happens. if your team, if your tribe, your squad, your peoples have never been the one to receive it all at once, like you said, it's the triple crown. There's no America's beauty is presently represented with melanin all the way around.
Right. And
that's spectacular.
Yeah. But I guess they figure, and a lot of them say this is, we gave y'all a president. Should be happy now. We're in a post-racial America. Yeah. So.
Yeah. That's what, because Obama did that, right? Yeah, exactly. That's what happened.
Right.
That's what happened.
So, but yeah, I mean, but again, shout out to these ladies, man. It's a monumental.
Shout out. Shout out.
Really
Hello.
Shout out. Literally. Yeah.
Hey, one of y'all is Miss North Carolina. Don't act like I ain't trying to come find you.
Right.
Hey, hold on. I got you. Because we out here.
It's not even a joke.
It's not a joke, man. We're going to find him.
We're coming to get you. Like, it's just, I was just saying hello.
Man, listen, I got a partner on the show now, boy. That's a dog.
You know what it is. It's a house girl watching you see. But hey.
Oh, man. Well,
another related side note. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump still owns all 3 pageants. How does he feel about it?
Right.
Mr. President, how do you feel about all 3 of them being black?
Right.
Be honest.
Yeah, well, let them tell it he don't mind because he gave Tiger a medal. So.
That's true. That's
remember, Tiger's
that's right. He's an ally to black people right now.
No,
I forgot
no.
Yeah.
Tiger's a complication.
Yeah.
Hey,
what was it? Yeah, that's right. He's a combination.
He's not black.
Something along those lines.
He's a complication.
Yeah. Complication is way simpler.
Oh man. Yeah. Right. Oh man. Well, that's it for the news. We're gonna cut the news a little short. We gotta go get ready for this Recreate Yourself segment. Been looking forward to this for about a month now. So we're gonna take a break and we'll be right back with Brad J. Brown and the Recreate Yourself segment. Are you into comics? I mean, seriously into all things comics? Well, lucky you needs to check out Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC, where Regular Scott, Ozzy Killmonger, and V's discuss characters, movies, series, books, fan polls, and more. And you never know who may show up for an open mic. Just some blurs going deep and having fun. Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC. New episode every Sunday. Brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast. This is episode 106. This is J.R. Glymph, joined as usual by Joseph English, Thomas Stevens, West Coast J. We're about to jump into this Recreate Yourself segment. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was your brand new Take a Knee for Marvel and DC commercial. Not sure if anyone heard the previous commercial featuring Ozzy Killmonger, but it was pretty. It was Dookie Juice, Yoshi. It was pretty bad. Yoshi, you wouldn't happen to have that commercial in front of you, would you?
Oh, player. Yeah, no, I do.
I want them to be able to hear what we were working with before we decided to change.
Hold on, let me. Oh, hold on. I think I had it on my soundboard. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. So a little bit of backstory. So we've been asking for Regular Scott to get us a commercial for about 6 weeks now, if not longer. And we get it to you, and because we like to keep the rotations of the commercials playing throughout the network, and Take a Knee was the only one that didn't have one. So we thinking, oh man, this shit gonna be fire. They done took this long to do it. Like they want to make this shit perfect. And I was listening to Anything, Everything, and Nothing last week, and it came on, and I just thought, so you know how like
take it from one of the.
Oh, here it goes. Just play it. Just play
it.
Shit. Yeah.
Hold Hold on.
I told Scott we was gonna play this shit on air and just clown the shit out of him.
Okay, I got you. Go ahead.
What's up, good people? This is Ozzy Killmonger from one of the three members of Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC. You can listen to us on the Defy Life Network. We air our show every Sunday morning. Listen to us. We are just blurs, loving what we do, and we hope you appreciate what we do too. What you doing on a Sunday? Take a listen.
Now, first of all, why the hell it sound like you're giving the church announcements?
Hold on, Jay. I got the perfect response to that.
Yo, that's the worst commercial. So,
yo,
yeah.
hey, Uncle Oz, Vandal Savage, Macho Man Vandal Savage here. I'm gonna need you to never record a commercial like that ever again. Y'all got one of the hardest intros.
Don't record a commercial again. Because
you could record a commercial, but I mean, y'all got one of the hardest intros for a podcast, and that was the commercial you gave me, bruh. Yeah. It sounded like it was air conditioning on in the background. Yeah. Was that your refrigerator running? Like what's? Oh man, yeah. I'm hurt. I'm distraught by this.
Yeah. So that's why there's a new Marvel versus D. That shit didn't last long. But
I got one more thing, Jay. I got one more comment, and I couldn't put it into words. So I think this is the only thing that I mean, we had podcasts begging us, please do not make us play this.
Yeah.
Please do not make us play this.
Like nobody wanted it on their show. And I thought, we all do podcasts. So we've all had a kid show up in the background or your wife call you in the back. And so I thought it was just some random dude showing up on Kim and Lynn and Kim's show. So I'm like, who is this dude? And then I started listening. I was like, oh shit, it's Oz. The fuck he talking about? Why he on the show? Wasn't no music to it. Wasn't no script. Nothing. He just talking and I couldn't do it because I just kept it just sounds like a dude in his drawers and socks with his laying on his stomach with his feet in the air talking to some chick late at night trying to get some. I was like, what you doing on a Sunday morning? It just sounds like an old ass player. I couldn't.
We're just some blurs.
Yeah,
just loving what we do.
Yeah. I'm in.
What else you gonna do on a Sunday?
Right, yeah. What else you gonna do on a Sunday? I'm like, I could have sworn I heard my pop say that shit a couple times at some shit. But yeah, man. So
regular Scott V's, stop. Don't let him do that no more.
No, ever, never, ever.
Never, ever. I'm over here feeling like Day. Like, you just go hugging and shit. Y'all in the background, just go let him do the shit. Hugging and shit.
Oh, man. Well, anyway, Brad, how's it going today, man?
What's going on? It's going all right, man. It's going all right.
Good. Everybody, it's our second segment of Recreate Yourself. The first one, everybody was loving the first Recreate Yourself. So welcome back, man. Again, up front, tell everybody where they can reach you and how they can contact you.
All right, no doubt. So on Facebook, name Brad J Resumes. You actually can look me up by my name as well, Brad J Brown. My website is www.bradjresumes.com, and I'm also on IG as Brad J Resumes as well.
Absolutely. So the first segment last month, we kind of went into the resume process and do's and don'ts of resumes. Some key pointers, things people may not know. And again, man, we always tell you, don't give away all your trade secrets because we don't want to cost you no money, man. So as much as you can divulge to the folks, we got some questions for you. So
gotcha.
Yeah, and so this one we decided after last show, Al, who's not with us tonight, Al was like, yo, that was really dope. He was like, did we mean to focus on the resume? I was like, no, we didn't. It's just the questions we got. And Al was like, it would be perfect if we just went into the next segment of the job process and focused on resumes. So I reached out to a few people and, focused on the interviews. So I reached out to a few people and just asked them, any questions you may have as far as like an interview portion for Recreate Yourself. And we got some pretty dope questions. So I'm excited to get your feedback on these. So,
all right, cool.
So the first one, in regards to the interview portion of your job search, what are some do's and don'ts as far as dressing for an interview?
That's actually a good question. I'll probably just hop into the don'ts just straight out of the gate. I would say probably the main thing is probably make sure that you're groomed properly whenever. A lot of people, they just show up, don't care about, getting their haircut, maybe their hair done, maybe shave the face or anything, may not have it lined up correctly, anything. Probably another thing is your wardrobe, keep probably like flashy colors and things that are real bright to probably like to a minimum, if you can, and probably keep, like perfume or cologne to a minimum. A lot of people might go overboard. They might be spraying like what the Axit or whatever it is, spraying all over their body, coming in with the body wash, on 1,000. So keep that to a minimum also, because you never know, like the person that's interviewing you, they might be even allergic to that kind of stuff.
True.
The worst thing that you want to do is, you in there in the interview and the person probably can't even go through with the interview because, you drowned them with, with the, smell of the cologne or perfume or things like that. So I would, say those three actually stand out the most to me. So just keep it, you want to be sharp when you go in, tie on, if for the ladies, blouses, nice dress, clothes, shoes, you probably don't want to have your feet out. And I would say just go from there as far as for that is concerned.
Okay. And does it matter like what kind of job you're interviewing for? Is how you should dress?
Yeah, me personally, I think you should just go in formal, on any type of job that you're going to. I know from a personal experience, it was even a point where I think I was going in for, this was some years ago. I think I was actually going in for like a production type of job, and I went in still, with it. I didn't probably have a jacket on, like a blazer on or anything, but I still had on a shirt and tie and some slacks when I actually went in. Right. And the guy was impressed. I actually got the job right then and there on the spot. So I would just say, treat every job the same. So when you are going, you may not have to have the blazer on, for guys or for even females, but you just want to just dress the part, because that could be probably the way that you get the job over somebody else. It could be coming out, both you guys in resumes are perfect, but you came to dress the part, the other guy didn't. The other guy might have came in with some jeans on, maybe. He was probably two, and then they just chose you over that candidate.
Well, it's funny that you said that, because I just want to add to that. I think what a lot of people do is they dress to the job, if that makes sense. So
that makes sense.
If some people think for an interview, if I'm going to McDonald's, I just need to dress any old kind of way. Yeah. I remember I was trying to get a job at Applebee's when I was in college at Claflin, and I went in a full-on suit and had a resume, and the manager didn't even interview me. Hired me on the spot. He was like, "You wore a suit and you got a resume?
Yeah.
For this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And the GM was like, he said, "This is the first time that's happened." He was like, "So yeah, you got the job." I was like, "What job did I get?" He was like, "Whatever you want to do." He's like, "Whatever you want to do, you just got." And so I was like, "Okay." And you don't dress, and I think that's to your point. Don't dress to the job. Treat each job the same. And I think that's what a lot of young people really don't get. Yeah. Each job needs to be the same.
Yeah, that's right. And like you said, because I think it says a lot about yourself too. I guess it says a lot about yourself before you even open your mouth. It's just your presence and just they're like, okay, this guy went over and beyond more than anybody we ever seen come in here. Like in your case, you went Applebee's, like you said, you had a suit and you was dressed nice, and they went in, they said, yo, this guy came in dressed apart. I don't even want to look at what he has on the, because if he came in, if what's on his resume matches like how he came in here, yeah, I don't need to look at anything else. Right. Yeah, he's hired right here on the spot. I've seen that a lot too, and I've seen a lot of people, have a great resume, but then they go into the job and they're not dressed apart. They just go in, it's like, yo, I guess I'll just show up. That's I guess is how the employers look at it.
Well, I mean, I think, and to that, and to add to that, I think it's. And it's what I tell my students, a person's perception of you is their reality. It may not be reality. It may not be what's real, but what that person thinks is real to them. So you have to, that first time a person meets you or sees you or whatever, it needs to be, I have taken the time to get a haircut, brush my hair, put on a clean suit with a clean shirt. I'm not overwhelming you with loud colors to show you I'm this super eccentric person. I am about business, because a lot of people don't know, to an interview, my dad told me, and I don't know how true this is, maybe you can let me know. My dad told me black, blue, gray.
Yes.
That's it. If you're going to talk about a suit, black, blue, gray. You don't want to go outside of that.
You might have a power tie, maybe. You might have
a power tie. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You might want to go with a solid tie, maybe a paisley tie, nothing too overwhelming. But suit wise, you want to go black, blue, gray, and because that lets them know that you're about business. These are business colors, so to speak. So after you get the job, you can do whatever you feel like.
So, long story
just
short,
don't come naked. Yeah,
don't come in your Easter suit, y'all.
Yeah, just don't come in Easter Sunday best, man.
Or your Steve Harvey suit. Don't do that either.
Oh Lord, definitely don't do the Steve Harvey suit.
Just don't do the Steve Harvey. What was Steve Harvey? Was he at the Kentucky Derby?
God.
Yeah, man. Just,
yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just adding to what you were saying.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
You just saying basically, don't dress like a pimp.
Cool.
All right.
Well, our next question on the interview: what kind of research should I do on the hiring company?
Okay, another good question. I think we actually touched a little bit on this. I think last time. As far as I'm real big on, I guess, on like the culture of the company. So I guess that's the first thing you probably want to look at, because I know in today's workplace, a lot of the younger people, they're really big on stuff like community involvement and a lot of volunteering work. So I guess, if they want to research, they want to see, as far for what the culture looks like, and see if they have those kind of like programs available. Probably check out, what skills or experiences that you may need, or how you can actually grow within the company, as far as for a turnover rate, there's things like that. You want to research that. And also you want to probably research like current events, news, if the company's been in the news, because let's say you didn't research anything about it, and let's say, the company might be in financial trouble, but they are having they are hiring or something. Let's say that you get the job, and then 3 to 6 months down the road, that company goes bankrupt, or let's say that they have a layoff or anything, So I think, most definitely looking at the skills and experience, growth, as well as check the news and recent events, as well as checking on the company culture. That's a lot of good information that you would want to probably research before you actually go into the interview, as well as looking at like the mission and the values, because you may get asked that in the interview as well.
Yeah, and at the very least, at least know what the company does, right?
Yes. And also like the product, like you said, what they do. So like the products and services, because the probably the worst thing that you can do is going for an interview and you do not know nothing about what they do at all, period.
Yeah, that gotta hurt. Like, that'll be painful to watch if you get asked that question. You don't even know.
So you saying if I'm getting ready to get hired by Pepsi, don't ask about Sprite?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, don't do that.
Okay. All right, got it. Don't dress like a pimp. Don't ask about Sprite. All right.
Yeah. And I've actually done this before, and it works pretty well. But I'm not sure how it would work on like across the board and generally speaking. But I was curious, so I asked why the position was available and why did the last person leave. And they were pretty open and transparent about it because it was a good position, and I was just wondering why somebody would leave the position. They actually got a promotion, but they were actually pretty open about it. So I'm not sure if someone want to ask that question like for any job, but I was just curious, and it worked out.
Yeah.
So next question. This is a good one because I've asked this question before, and I've heard people that are kind of apprehensive about asking it during the interview. But is it okay to inquire about salary in an interview?
That's a very good question. As far as for that question, in my opinion, I would try my best not to actually bring that up. I would actually let them bring that information up first. And when it does get brought up, because that's something that goes into like the research of the company. Mm-hmm. So when you're going into the interview, already kind of have like a ballpark figure, I would think, of what the position is actually paying out. And they have a lot of resources for that. I know Glassdoor is pretty good, where it shows like a salary range, of pretty much of what the position is. Because the worst thing you could do is just go in and just straight out of the gate just start asking about how much is this role pay. Right. Because they don't. I mean, it just shows that so money's gonna be your only motivation. So what happens if you don't get this raise that you think you deserve? You're gonna leave. So they probably just gonna overlook you altogether. Right. So I would just try my best not to actually bring that up until maybe they ask, and then you're open to like negotiation as far as for that. So yeah, I really wouldn't bring it up.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I think rightfully so. People are apprehensive about asking that because most people don't like talk money and negotiate anyway. So it's a difficult conversation.
You come in for the interview and be like, hey man, so when I get my first paycheck?
Right. Yeah. So I'm gonna start in the middle of the pay scale. I'm gonna get a 1 week check to start with.
I gotta do a week in the hole.
Do a week in the hole, right?
So don't dress like a pimp. Don't ask about products that they don't provide. And don't walk in immediately talking about so we get paid on Thursdays, or like if our direct deposit do it come on Wednesdays or Thursdays? Like which day do I get my money?
Right.
Got it. Got it.
Oh, all right. And last question we have. Now this is a really good question because I've never thought about it, but when I can see the point in it. So, question is how formal should you treat the interview if it's a position within your current organization and the interviewer?
I think you should keep it formal. As formal as you would if you didn't know the person. And the reason why I say that is because for a formal interview, you would still be, I guess, within like a professional setting, and you would still be, I guess, within the organization, like within the building or the environment where you work at, versus the informal where you probably would going out, maybe having lunch, maybe having brunch or dinner, or maybe a cup of coffee or something like that. So I would think, being that you're still in the environment, still in a professional environment, still at work, I would just treat it just the same way as you would if you didn't know them. You just interview to do a formal interview. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, I would.
All right, so don't dress like a pimp. Don't ask about products they ain't bring up, or they don't provide, rather, services, for none of that. Let me think. What was the third one? Hold on. It was don't ask when you get paid and how much you gonna get paid, and then don't talk about being out at the bar last Tuesday having drinks with them. Got it.
That's right.
Got it all.
That's
Got it all.
That's right. That's it. That's spot on.
Yeah. I can imagine that could be like a little awkward being so formal with your homeboy, but you know, and most positions, especially at a certain level, will have panel interviews. So if it's one dude and you kick it with every weekend, you don't want to go in there like, hey, yo, Sheila, me and Brad hung out last weekend. You should have been with us. Yeah. So,
and that's pretty much the only reason why I said it, because it could be like it's a panel interview, so you have the person that you actually know, and it may be their boss in there, somebody that's over them. So you kind of don't want to put them in a position for them to feel awkward either. So they probably got something that they need to, like some kind of guideline that they got to go through when they asking the interview question. You really don't want to be too lax, when you're doing it either, because there's probably something that they're getting evaluated on as well. So I just wouldn't want to put them in a position also.
Right, then you don't get the job and they get fired and y'all both fired.
Yeah, so then y'all both going to the bar like you said.
Right.
Yeah. So don't bring up why we was at Onyx last week, making it rain on them or nothing. Just don't bring that up. Leave that out.
Yeah,
leave that part out. Man.
Leave that out. All right. Okay. Got it.
Oh man, we Brad,
I actually do have Hey Brad, I got one more question with regard to the interview. In particular, it's always the end of an interview. You're sitting there minding you think you done aced it, nailed it, and then you are asked the one simple question: do you have any questions for me? What would you? Can you give me like a general, like one? I know that now we're starting to get into the how you make your money situation, but can you give me like one good general question to ask somebody?
What's your expectations? What would be your expectations of me as an employee?
That's a good one.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Because basically what I did was I actually I asked you the question of what you would expect, and I actually put myself in a position to say employee as I've already got the job. So I'm showing initiative that I already, I really want this position. And I also asked you a question, what you would expect out of me. So, and then if they answer that question, kind of hopefully that bridges and ties into, getting your foot in the door.
That's a good one. All right. Cool. Yosh, Pooh, y'all got anything?
Nah, that was actually what I was gonna ask. So, and that was solid. That was a perfect question.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, we've all been in that awkward moment, so that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Brad, man, appreciate it, man. Round two. Went well, man.
Guys.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll do this again next month.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, everybody, that is Brad J. Brown from Brad J. Resumes on our Recreate Yourself segment. Brad, it's been real, man. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
No doubt. All right, holla at you guys.
All right, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right, peace.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Yo, man, I'm really starting to feel these guest segments between Recreate Yourself and Health and Wellness. We're going to be some healthy, wealthy motherfuckers on this show. So
that's what we going for.
Right. So,
no doubt.
Yeah, so shout out to Brad again. We will, that was May's segments. We'll see Brad again in June. We'll try to get y'all to level up on this career opportunity. So we're gonna move on to our listener questions. First question. Oh man, I hate money and Al ain't here for this, but our first question is from Baron in Philly. First of all, Baron, I'm assuming you're a Sixers fan. Sorry about what happened tonight, but
wasn't cool.
Yeah, so go get them next time. But Baron wants to know, yo, should I start with you? Give me your best impression of one of your co-hosts.
Oh geez. I think the best. I thought about this now, and the best way I could do this. Hold on. I had it set up to do this. I'm gonna impersonate somebody here, and you got to give me 1 second to get my life together.
Oh God.
Because I mean, it wasn't like I'm not good at like voices, but I think when you hear this, you'll know who I am impersonating. And here we go. The moment I looked into her eyes.
Hey, to quote regular Scott, shots fired.
Wait, hold on, because I can't quite push the mute button. So hold on. Wait, hold on, because I ain't done. I'm not done. And this is all out of love.
Of course.
This is all.
Always is.
It's all out of love. Oh, okay. I'm trying to do this quickly because I didn't load my soundboard. Which normally I'd have this on deck, ready to go. Nah. We'll go with that. We all know who that is. That's my man, my brother. One of my first friends in South Carolina. Not the late, but the great.
You killed him off.
I didn't
killed you off, Pooh.
I didn't mean to kill Pooh off, man.
Don't let him talk to you like that, Pooh.
Oh man.
But that's my dog since we was going to Flavor 2000, man.
Oh man.
That's my dog. But man, my dog, he can let these boys fly here.
Is that tumbleweed going by in the background, Pooh? You just gonna let him do you like that?
Oh man.
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh wait, and I got one more. I got one more impersonation. Got one more impersonation. Come on. The anticipation, right?
All right.
Here we go. Tell me who this is. Hey, where V's go?
Is that V's?
Just little impersonations. I'm sorry.
Oh man. Yeah.
And that's because I'm not good with voices.
Scott, get your guns out.
And V's, as my former roommate, love you to death too, my dog.
They done brought V's into this. Oh,
I know. Y'all said impersonations. I did mine.
All right.
To quote the great regular Scott, shots fired.
Shots fired. Oh,
I didn't. It was no shots.
Oh man.
It was no shots.
And again, this is out of love. V's, Pooh. Well, Pooh, you get your get back, man. Right back at you. You want to come back at Yoshi? Give Barron his impersonation of one of your co-hosts. Or apparently anybody across the network. Who you want to impersonate?
Nah, I'm gonna let Yosh live. And,
damn, let me live. Damn, that's worse.
Well, shit, you done kill him off. He can't do nothing but let you live.
I'm gonna let him live.
Oh wait, I got one more.
Oh wow.
It's two for Tuesdays. The real is back. The real is back.
That's where I thought Pooh was gonna go.
Yoshi just took everybody. That's
Yoshi took me, B.
No, you said you wasn't doing nobody.
No, I was saying I was letting you live. I wasn't gonna attack you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you got it.
Yeah,
I bet you do it better than me, Pooh.
Yeah,
I know you do it better than me.
You don't hit him now. All I was gonna do is be like, "Dad, 15 minutes later, money's still talking."
Oh, cold, man.
Hey, it's love though. You know?
Oh shit. Oh man. Well, West Coast Jay, I know you the newbie.
Yeah.
But you done been around long enough, so you wanna impersonate any of us or anybody on Take a Knee or Miggs, anybody, man, who you wanna take a stab at?
All right, since I don't got the soundboard in front of me, I can't get my favorite of all, because I would need some theme music to go in, so I'm gonna just keep it real simple.
What theme music you need? I got you. What you need?
I'm gonna just keep it real simple. Like, unfortunately, Yo's trying to take everybody, but yo, the real is back. It's 2 for Tuesdays. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, hold on. I got
out
you.
to Dave Gettleman. And, you feel me? Yo, true that. Like, all I'm saying is, look.
There you go. I got you right there.
Yo, thanks, yo. Put me in like that. Yo, it's back. You know what it is. It's 2 for Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? The Dave Gettleman fan club sign up. We got that online right now. Just go ahead and email us at producer@defylife.com, because I know he want to hear all of what you got to say about Dave Gettleman. You know, and then you know, what's up, Jay? You know how everybody else we going? Y'all good?
Oh, shit.
Boy, yours beat mine by a mile. You hear me?
Oh, I do the voice. Like that.
Oh, man.
Beat me by a mile.
Told you, buddy, would be my favorite if you didn't exist most of the time.
Boy, I'm over here in tears, man.
Oh, man. It's all three of y'all money, though. It's 3 for Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. It's 3 for Thursdays.
3 for Thursday.
Let's do it.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's cool, though. Hey, look, man, we just out here trying to do it for the people, you know. Make sure you get your Defy Life gear. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. You know, and if you ain't rocking with Defy Life, so what is your life about? Son, I'm saying.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
oh, God.
That is great. Oh, man. Well, shit. Oh, man. Well,
I love that. I wish I had a good Al, but I don't, for real. I like baseball.
I'm going to give Money a break, and I ain't going to get on you, Money. But anybody just ask me a random question, please.
Oh, here we go with this shit.
No, I'm going to let you live, Yoshi. Anybody ask me a random question?
Go ahead.
Somebody just ask me a question about anything.
What did you think about that? The 76ers performance tonight?
Well, you know, I'm from New York, so LeBron is a bomb, and so growing up in Queens, you know, LeBron sucks, and I don't like Magic is the greatest basketball player of all time. So when I grew up in New York. Right,
he got Al, man.
Right, so I'm from New York, so you know, but I do know that like if Philly had LeBron, they would have lost like 0-3 unless they had Magic at point guard, right? But you know, like because they got a bomb squad. There's a bomb squad they got in Philly because in New York, you know what they told us when I lived in New York. You know, I grew up in New York, right? So in Queens, what they would tell us. So that's my app.
Oh man!
Shots fired.
I love you.
Hey, I got one though, and don't want to know this but Money, right? But I still got to do it because I know he gonna die when he hear that shit. Hey, yo, that's a what kind of flag is that? Oh shit, you from Trinidad? Yo, I'm from Trinidad. Yo, what's good? Let me get your number. We can talk sometime. Hey, who you think that is?
That's gotta be Yoshi.
That's Yoshi.
Man.
Oh shit.
Hey, listen, you got. Hey, all they got to do is crack the door. I'm gonna kick it open. That's all I need. All I need is the door crack.
He see blood, he had it.
Boy, listen, I'm Jaws out here, boy. Put that blood in the water, boy. I'm gonna go get it.
That's my dog right there.
Now I must say, Boo be like, hey man, hey, you see them two over there? Hey, I got some college stories now from Banana Joe's.
Oh, Banana Joe's been lit.
Hey, Yoshi, them two over there, man. What's up? Pooh, you know I don't give a fuck. Let's go.
Yeah, what y'all want to do?
What you gonna do? You gonna box and throw rocks?
Yeah.
We'll do a barbecue.
We gonna do a barbecue. I told somebody the other day, man. I think it's a relationship status. Or so. I don't know what I was talking about. I was like, man, you ain't want to know me in college. If you dealt with me in college or high school, I probably ruined your life. I probably did.
Cold-blooded assassin.
I probably ruined your life. Anyway.
Boy. Well, money. Al, V's. We sorry, but it's all a lot of love.
Hey, wait,
the question was asked,
hold on.
and we got to get.
Hold on, I just got to get one more in there real quick. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I'm gonna talk for a moment. You know what I'm saying? Get your showers. Get your, brush your hair. Go ahead and get a whole pizza set up. See, because Captain Marvel, right? What y'all don't know about Captain Marvel. See, Carol Danvers wasn't the original Captain Marvel. See, and so when you got, it's look. When she first got into the books, right? She had a thing with War Machine. And a lot of people don't know that about Rhodey. But Rhodey and Carol used to be,
they know everything.
They used to look the comic connoisseur. Oz, I'm right back at you again. One more time. This Macho Man Vandal Savage here talking. Don't you ever make a commercial like that again. I just gotta bring that back. Don't you ever do that.
Man. Well, guess we Oz, you can join your cohorts under that bus. We just threw all
you can
y'all
hang
up
out.
under. So
I mean, I would set the table right now, but I done already been in regular Scott a couple of times.
Right. Yeah, I do a pretty good regular Scott. I hold off on Scott though. I done gave Scott enough business for the day. Oh man, that was great. Baron, thanks for your question, man. It wasn't really a question; it was more of a demand. I like when y'all come on here and demand shit. So tell us what you need from us. So Baron from Philly, appreciate that. Our next question. This is actually our first international question we've ever had on the show. So Jelissa from Miami by way of London. So greetings from the UK. Just a girl from Miami now residing in London. I really enjoy you guys' insight and perspective. So what she wants to know is, how do you handle someone breaking your trust? Pooh, how do you handle it when somebody breaks your trust?
Wow. Oh, man. I guess it's first of all, I guess you have to think about, how far you want to go with this person, or is this thing fresh and new? Have you devoted 3.5 years of your life to this relationship or whatever you guys have going on? And like I say, do you want to go more, or do you want to try to go all the way, or do you think that you want to marry this person? If not, of course, you definitely cut ties, let it go. But it's people. People make mistakes. That's how I look at things. I know people make mistakes, and it's human nature to make mistakes. However, I'm not telling you to go in and be anyone's punching bag.
All right.
So I say live. Live life. Take it one day at a time. Time heals all wounds. Right. But if you don't think that this is the person for you, definitely don't stick around for that.
All right. West Coast Jay, what you guys say about Jelissa's question? How do you handle it when somebody breaks your trust?
Now look here. I done came from where the game came from, right? Now I'm not gonna sit here and advocate you cut that bitch head back to the fat meat. Don't get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody out there for real checking traps like that. You know that. But a lot like Pooh said, people are imperfect. There's not a perfect human that exists. So everybody gets one mistake. Now, if they make the exact same mistake twice, well, then they're not listening to you. Then they don't respect you. Then why are you hanging out with somebody that's not respecting you?
Gotcha.
So it is, in fact, time to cut ties, kick the proverbial rocks, put an egg in your shoe and beat it.
All right. Well, so with that rule, are there some people who get more leeway than others? Like, say, like Pooh said, you've been with somebody for 5 years. Do they get that same treatment as somebody who you've known for a couple weeks?
Definitely. Time actually is huge in this case, right? Because the first impression is the best impression for most people. Most people put their best foot forward initially, and then it turns into, something. There's a slip up. You tell them about it. If they slip up again, but again, I'm a fan of if they slip up the exact same way. Like, come on now. But I believe the president once said got an old saying in Texas.
Yeah.
You might have it out there in the UK too, but fool me once, shame on you. Shame on you. Fool me, can't fool me again.
George W. Bush, I miss that dude. Man.
I did in Texas. You wild, Jay. You wild.
That's all I'm saying. You can't let him in there 2 times.
Oh,
with the same, and you want that. That's a life lesson in everything. You don't want the same jab to land twice. You don't want to get dunked on the same way 2 times. They only get 2 shots, and they drain 2 shots in your face, and you got to get a hand up. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Yosh, what you got for Jelissa in London, man? How do you handle when somebody breaks your trust?
When somebody breaks my trust, I initially my response usually is
fuck him up against the wall. We're handcuffs on him and crazy through all of this.
That's usually my response.
To the fat meat.
I think because trust is so friggin' fragile, it's easy to get, hard to rebuild. And so, I can trust you off top, and I think some people take advantage of the trust, and then there's those who, just kind of, they appreciate it and they do what they're supposed to do. And they when I mean take advantage, it's like if it's broken, then they think it can be built back with apologies and this, that, and the third. And it's not that simple, because first time, as West Coast Jay said, first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. There's not going to be a third time. It's just because trust involves putting your heart, your mind into someone else, into another entity outside of you that you cannot control. And so when you do that, you're opening yourself up. And I think people nobody wants to be hurt, whether it's because you could break trust. It ain't just relationships. Trust could be broken at work, a work relationship, friendships. A trust can be broken. And I think in friendships, when a trust is broken, that's probably the toughest ones to rebuild, because in a relationship, trust get broken, you could just be out. But let's say you had a friend for 15, 16 years and you break that trust, like to lose somebody who's been in your life for 15, 16 years, who probably knows where all the bodies are buried. It's a tough pill to swallow. And I don't know if there's a correct response to it. I think that you could forgive, but when it comes to trust, it's really hard to forget. And you just kind of, the person is usually decimated. Their feelings are usually like demolished, and to rebuild that, it doesn't happen often. I would say that, like, if you look back, and I don't know how many of you guys have had people who broke trust, I don't know how many of those people are still in your life, because it's tough. It's tough to have that same trust in them, because the dynamic of the relationship, no matter what kind of relationship it is, it changes. And you it's no longer the same. You used to hang out, and now it's like the hanging out is side-eyed. If it's a relationship, like I think although the friendship is the worst one is probably the one that's the least likely to rebuild, the lack of trust in a relationship it'll drive you crazy. I wonder what she's doing. She not with me. Last time she didn't answer her phone, she was doing this. Like, that's just, I don't know. It's something that's tough to come back from, and that's a great question. I don't think there's any one way to answer it. I think that the way you deal with it is just however you personally feel comfortable dealing with it. And nobody can tell you you're wrong.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
If somebody breaks your trust and you say, I won't fuck with you no more,
that's on them.
Okay. Yeah. That's on them. Like, you did some dumb shit. Like, they did the dumb shit.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So however you decide to deal with it, people try to tell you how to live your life. You know, I don't think that we should be that. I think that we should just say, hey, look, whatever's comfortable for you, it's comfortable for you. I know what's comfortable for me. And I ain't going to try to, I'm not going to try to bestow my beliefs upon you, because only you know the hurt you feel. So how's it? You know, only you know what you feel. So, you know, it's just kind of, you know, one of those things. I don't think there's a clear-cut answer to it.
No, I mean, the only thing I could actually add is try if they are genuinely making an effort to try and regain your trust, just try and put yourself in their shoes for a moment. Try and understand that if they know it and they actually are as close to you, like it also depends on the closeness. If they actually are that close to you, then you'll be able to see in their actions that they're actually trying. Like, let them.
Yeah, I mean, I think you do that, but like, you know, how hard is that? Like, that has got to be. I mean, not has got to be, because we've all been through it. That's tough. Even when somebody is like, yo, I apologize, I'm so sorry. Like, it's, you know, like, let me prove it to you. Let me, you know, like, all of those things. Words at that point, words are empty. Actions are, what's the word I'm looking for? Are biased. Like, you're looking at the actions like, yeah, you acting right because you got caught, or because the trust is broken, so that's why you're acting a certain way. You're always going to have a side eye to the actions. So are you can say, hey, I'm gonna fully open up this book and I'm gonna turn this page and we're gonna start a new chapter, but like, really, those old pages are still there.
Yeah.
Anytime I want to, I can flip back.
Yeah,
I can flip back to it. I could flip back to the second that something triggers that feeling. Like, the last time, this is what, like, shoot, like, I mean, you know, me and Pooh have talked about it a couple times. You know, a guy we know would try to holler at your girl, and like, to this day, I'm not leaving him alone with nobody I'm with ever.
Yeah, like, but that's my thing, is I always try to remember that, for me, trust is fluid, depending on the person.
Oh, yeah.
So I know who I can trust what with, right? There's certain people I can trust with my money, certain people I can trust to babysit my kids, certain people I can trust around my girl, certain people I can trust to borrow my car, and certain people I can't with all of those things, right? So trust, to me, is fluid, just depending on the person. And I think Lynn and Kim kind of went into this on their show. It's very few people that you can, like, truly trust with everything. But I agree with you, Yosh. Like, it's hard to say we're going to start brand new and forget about everything, because you're human. You can't erase it from your mind. So when something comes up to trigger it, it's only human nature. You know, those thoughts are gonna come back up. and it's gonna bring other things up, and especially when scar tissue is built. You know, when you start ripping off those wounds, and I always try to remember that I've broken somebody's trust in the past too. Many people, you know, we all have. We all know how that feels to be on the other side of the coin when you're trying to gain somebody else's trust back. So I always try to remember that. And then two, I'm with you, Yost. Like especially after if somebody breaks your trust more than once, those words, apologies, become empty, right? And so at that point, all I ask from that person is just a little bit of humility and self-awareness. Like, it's certain shit you can't say when you done broke my trust. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you done, like I said, if you done, like the dude you just mentioned, if you done tried to hit on my girl a few times and I know it, like, you can't make jokes about, you know, hitting somebody's, like, you can't do, you got to have some kind of self-awareness around me because you know where my mind's going to go. So it's certain things.
You damn sure can't say she look good.
Right.
Hey, man, you can't look good today.
Yeah, you can't say that shit. Right? So,
well, you liable to get punched in the face.
Yeah, you got to have some kind of self-awareness and some kind of humility because you know that you fucked up. So you got to have a little bit of humility and be self-aware enough to know that, man, if I say this shit, it just ain't going to be right. So, you know, it depends on the person. And certain people, you know, if I can't trust you with my car, and I see you out doing, you know, wheelies and figure eights in the parking lot, that's my fault because I let you do the shit. So,
hey, if it's a friend, like not someone I guess you're being intimate with or attempting to start some type of relationship with, but if it's a friend, I can't go that deep with them, like that any longer. Like I'm always gonna, I guess, handle them with a long handle spoon at that point because I'm gonna feel like, see, I was thinking on the aspect of like you being with someone, but if it's the other end of the spectrum, like I can't go that far with someone that's supposed to be my friend because when I feel like you're my friend, it's like we're brothers or sisters, and I'll go the extra mile for you. You go the extra mile for me. But when I get to the point where I don't feel like it's reciprocated both ways, then I just don't. I don't deal with you like that. Period.
Right. Yeah.
Straight up. Like
I can't. Yeah, I can't bring that back. We can't be that. We can be decent. We can
be.
I mean, we can be copacetic, right? But right. I holler at you, show up at your birthday party, but as in we riding and me and you and dapping up and like you, I can't do that. I can't do it like that.
Yeah, with you.
But on the person on the opposite end is gonna be going in, and another thing with trust, like once the trust is broken, the person that has broken that trust, give the other person some time.
Right.
Time.
You've got to give them time. You apologize, you say whatever it is, and you just chill out and even shoot them a text. Hey, if it's your friend, hey, bro, man, whenever you're ready to talk, hit me up. And then just leave it there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't keep, man, you good? Hey, man, be good. Hey, yo, man, I wanna take you out to get some drinks, man. Let's settle this stuff, man. I don't like not talking to my homie, my bruh. Man, no, I don't want to hear. I don't want to talk to you.
Like your voice right now, your voice is on my nerves.
Yeah.
Like, right now, your text is getting on my nerves.
I think I hate your haircut. I hate everything about it. But and we talked about pet peeves the other week. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is, like you just said, somebody who, like I tell my kids this all the time, you can't slap somebody in the head, like slap somebody in the back of the head and tell them how to react to it. You know what I'm saying? So if you break somebody's trust, like you just said, give them time to feel however they want to feel about it and make their own decision on it. Like, don't try to, like, I hate that old, like, damn, I said I'm sorry, fuck you want. Yeah,
has to be on my time.
Yeah,
like it's like I need you to feel the way I want you to feel on my time.
Yeah, so you don't get to do what you do to somebody, and then tell them how to react to it. That shit don't fly. And so, yes, Yosh, I agree. Like, give that person time if they need it, and let them make the decision and let them make the next move. Don't pressure nobody into forgiving you. That shit's whack.
Yeah, that's just peer pressure at that point.
Yeah. Or fear pressure, however you want to put it.
However you look at it.
But yeah, shit, damn good question, Jelissa. And I don't know why you in London from by way of Miami, but safe travels.
Cheerio.
Coming back soon. Yeah, and cheerio if you're gonna be there for a while.
Cheerio from across the pond.
All right. So, but yeah, y'all keep these questions coming. We absolutely enjoy addressing them. If you got anything you want to address on the show, or if you have a question for us, or if you like bearing, you just want to hear us make fun of each other, hit us up at info@godefylife.com, or shoot us a message on social media at godefylife. All right, so we're gonna jump into some NBA talk before we get into trivia. A couple things on the NBA. We ain't got no NFL talk, so a couple things on the NBA, man. Boston is down 3-1 to Milwaukee, and it looks like they are on the verge of being eliminated. Kyrie is playing like a dumpster fire right now. If Boston loses to Milwaukee, this will be the second round. And last year, of course, they lost. Kyrie was injured. And should the Kyrie Irving era in Boston be considered a failure if they lose the series?
Has to be. I mean, what have they accomplished with him?
All right.
Have to be. Last year they went further without him if they're out in this round. Mm-hmm. You know, so to me it was. I was gonna say it's a borrowed time, but I don't know what they borrowed just to have that name and the next face of the franchise. However, I mean Tatum has proven to be that gentleman. So definitely, I definitely think it's a failure.
Yosh, what say you?
I think that I wouldn't. A failure is a tough word to say if you say the Kyrie experiment was a failure. I think that when you're looking at it, the last year guys' roles were different because Gordon Hayward and Kyrie were injured. So the roles were different. So my numbers, of course, are going to be up. And because there's no real superstar, we all have to kind of play a team brand of basketball, which means everybody has an opportunity to eat, and whoever's hot, we feed them. With Kyrie back and Gordon Hayward, who I feel is a subpar player. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's worth the money he's getting. I think if Brad Stevens isn't the coach, he's not getting that money in Boston. But Kyrie, who is a ball dominant player, when the ball gets to his hands, it stops. And so everybody kind of has to play off of him. Although he is one of the most skilled players in the league, the numbers show that the team overall numbers are good, but teammates' numbers are down because he does so much of the work. And I think in his last two games, he shot 7 for 22 one game, and then 8 for 26. Yeah, 6 for 23 the next game. And it's like, yeah, shooters are supposed to shoot through slumps, but if I have all these other guys around me that have proven to do this on their own without me, if I'm off, maybe it's time for me to get there's nobody in the league who can stay in front of Kyrie. So if there's nobody who can stay in front of him, attack and kick the ball or dish it off and get some easy buckets going. So now you could now become a rhythm shooter, because that's what he said in his thing. He says, well, if everybody's all up in me, I can't get into my rhythm. when you can't get in your rhythm because you're dribbling the ball 30 times in 24 seconds and shooting it. So, yeah, if I'm a defender, I know you're not passing it. So I think the Kyrie experiment has failed. I don't think Kyrie Irving will be successful no matter where he goes, championship-wise. Mm-hmm. He'd have to pair up with somebody else like a LeBron, like a Kevin Durant, which he's probably not going to end up doing because I honestly believe he's going to end up in New York. And nobody else is going to go there with him. It's going to be his team, and once again, New York's going to go nowhere. So it's just he's a ball-dominant player that's about him. Mm-hmm. He's about himself. It's hands down. And so
shorter Carmelo Anthony?
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Very much. But I don't even know if Melo, and that's the thing about Melo. I don't think Melo was a bad teammate. Melo just didn't know how to play any other way. Mm-hmm. I think Kyrie is just a selfish. I just think Kyrie is just a selfish teammate. That's an opinion from listening to pundits and locker room talk and stuff like that. What when you watch these shows and this and the third, like I've never heard anybody say, "Hey, Carmelo Anthony's he's a bad teammate."
No, I've heard the opposite.
Yeah, I've heard that about Kyrie.
Right.
Like that's been said about Kyrie.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Jay, what do you think?
I'm like, Kyrie was for the regular season 16th in assists at 6.9, but also that's a career high. On when he started his career, he started by playing with LeBron, and playing with LeBron is another ball dominant creature. Like if the offense is supposed to run through LeBron, we know this. Like we've now seen it how it's supposed to work. But Kyrie's mindset has always been that of a scorer. So the idea of be a pure, at this point we got to call it an old school point guard, where you take care of the ball. There's only a few of those left in the league right now. Kyrie Irving will never be a Chris Paul. Kyrie Irving will never be he could, this is what I think. I think that Kyrie could at any given point, if he actually decided to change his complete mentality, he could be a poor man's Russell Westbrook. He could. But I don't think that he's ever going to. I'm with Yoshi on that one. I don't think he's ever going to change his mentality.
No, he's not going to.
And so
somebody's going to pay him max.
Right.
Well, I don't have to change my mentality. You know what you're getting.
Right. Like,
hey,
go ahead.
Quick question. So I just thought about this. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a moment. But could we lay some of this on the footsteps of Brad Stevens? Because is this offense catered for a Kyrie Irving, knowing that he's a ball dominant player?
No. But that's the thing. No, I'm pretty certain they're running the offense. If you watch them play, because that's the reason with me watching basketball. I swear I can't do it because I watch it as a coach. You could literally see the play break down when the ball gets to Kyrie's hands.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can literally see the play stop.
Right.
Like whatever it is, it stops. So
and everybody else stops. Like they stop.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
The motion stops. Like Butler's offense when he was there was predicated on motion.
Right.
And the ball moves, the people move, it was predicated on motion. And when it was a lot like the Melo comparison is probably the best one, because I lived in Denver when he was a Nugget, and I remember very distinctly, like, you got everybody in motion, and the moment Melo touched the ball, they just sort of ran to the other side of the court and hung out till he was done doing whatever it is he was doing.
Yeah. And I think that, and to your point, Pooh, not so much devil's advocate, it's like, I feel like for the style of play that he plays, they need to put a another guard. Like I think a Terry Rozier.
He needs to play off the ball. Yeah.
Terry Rozier needs to be on the floor with Kyrie.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like and have
not
him
necessarily
off.
Jason Tatum.
Well, not necessarily. Yeah. Or even if you do that, have a Jason Tatum bring the ball down. Or, Al Horford can bring the ball down and initiate the offense. And then if within that, it ends up in Kyrie's hands with 4 seconds on the clock or 6 seconds on the shot clock, then in that moment, he'll take the shot. You see what I'm saying? But I think that when he is bringing the ball down, the shot's going up. Nobody else sees the ball. Yeah. And no matter who you are, if you are, the one thing I've learned in coaching, whether it is football, basketball, soccer, or baseball, everybody wants an opportunity to show what they can do.
Yep. They just want to touch the ball. Like
they want to touch the ball.
It's rare that you find like a Dennis Rodman, for example.
But even that is a touching the ball.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna.
Game. Yeah.
I want. He was on the record as saying, I just want to average 20 boards and 2 points. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like even to find somebody like that, because Al Horford is. If you look at the Boston Celtics and the way that they're built, like if all Kyrie would have to do is buy into the system, and I don't think he does.
Well, I don't think there is a system that Kyrie buys into. Kyrie buys into Kyrie's system.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the system. Like whatever coach's team he went to, if he went to San Antonio, he's not going to buy into Pop's system. If Phil Jackson came out of retirement, he's not going to buy into the triangle. Right. If he went to Golden State, he's not going to buy into the everybody touch the ball at some point. We like assists.
That's that flex. They running that flex.
Yeah. See, but the thing about it is, I think that if I'm on Kyrie to raise his equity, because at this point, it should be about raising his stock. Like he has to raise his stock at this point.
Got to.
And I know he really doesn't care because somebody's going to pay him.
Well, on top of that, he's also got one of the most iconic finals winning shots of all time.
Yeah,
so he's at that point he was at the pinnacle. Like that's Uncle Drew. He was in movies after that. He was at the pinnacle of what he believed he could do, but didn't I don't think he's ever thought of the longevity of it all and how to maintain the whole thing.
I'm going to tell you a funny point is in that Kyrie trade, it's very rare do you see a trade where everybody loses.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody lost in that trade.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
The players, the teams, everybody lost.
Yep.
Everybody.
And Pooh, go ahead. Well, you was about to say something. Go ahead before I say before.
But I was just gonna say, didn't he excel in like a pick and roll style game with he and Bron? So you don't think they should have catered their offense to that?
No, if you watch the Cavaliers play, the offense ran and Kyrie almost sort of. I'm saying this and I kind of. It's kind of strange to see, but if you go back and watch the film, Kyrie almost like stands in the corner.
Yeah.
Until about 8 seconds in the clock,
and then he comes curling around to the half.
To the elbow or to the free throw line extended.
Free throw extended every time.
And LeBron would get him the ball, and it's like, okay, we didn't get a shot, so here Kyrie go to work. And then that's when they might utilize the pick and roll because they might get the quick switch. Because LeBron would pass it, follow the pass, set the screen, and Kyrie within the 7 seconds would go either dribble to the basket, dribble pull up, dish off LeBron. LeBron would take it to the basket.
Yeah.
So it's just.
It's pick and roll ball though.
Yeah, but you know but the thing is, Boston don't have a LeBron, and so the reason that Cleveland could get away with that is because, and which is why Kyrie wanted out, is because he wasn't going to pound the rock for 22 seconds and put up a shot with LeBron there, because that was Bron's system, that was Bron's organization.
Right.
Boston doesn't have a player that demands that kind of power. Kyrie is that guy in Boston.
Right.
And so I said this, when they made the trade, I just don't see Kyrie as the best player on a championship team. He's not a lead dog on a championship team, for one, because the style of game he plays is not conducive to being successful on team-wise in today's NBA. He might have been able to do that, even 10, 12 years ago. He may have been, but it's just not that kind of game today unless you have those pieces around you and it's like everything has to fall in place. And then also, little guys don't generally dominate stretches like that on championship teams. Now, you have dudes like Steve Nash, that dominate, Jason Kidd dominate, but they don't win championships. They can be dominant, but they're never the best player on a championship team.
Then you get a Steph Curry.
Yeah, but even Steph,
at one point.
Right, but even Steph, they had to go with KD to have sustained success.
It only happened one time.
Right,
with Steph as the lead dog.
Yeah,
and then Kevin showed up and it changed everything.
Right, and so my thing with Kyrie is, for one, I think this speaks a lot about how hard it is to be the man on a championship team. Because he wanted so hard, so bad to get out of Cleveland because he wanted to get out of LeBron's shadow. Yep. And I remember we talked about this on the show, Pooh, back then, was he going to regret that shit because it ain't easy having that target on your back every night and being the man every night and having to lead that team every night. And, Kyrie admitted as much that shit is not easy when everything falls on you. But I also think that his growth in that department was probably stunted because he played 3 years without LeBron, and then in Cleveland when that was his team, he was a young guy, and then LeBron came and he was totally stripped of the opportunity to be a leader of that team for 3 more years, and so he kind of got a false sense of leadership because he won a championship and idiots were saying that, oh man, Kyrie's the best player on that team because he hit that big shot, and because people like to discredit LeBron for whatever. So they tried to give Kyrie a bunch of that credit without realizing that how hard it is to carry a team 82 games a year, 40 minutes, 48 minutes a night, like every night, not picking and choosing your moments when you want to be a leader. And that's what Kyrie was able to do. And so now that everything's on his shoulders, again, I think, Jalen Rose said it best. He's going to leave town and his teammates are going to help him pack his bags.
Because they will help him pack. Because there's nothing he can do about it. I'm going to go back to I don't know whose system. The only system I can think of where he may be able to function would be D'Antoni's system. Because it's just playing, get down there and shoot.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if he could play in that because the point guard in that.
Oh, that's like flex though. That's a variation of flex, right?
But they still.
No, they're 7 seconds or less. That's just legitimate.
They still have a traditional point guard on the floor.
Short running gun.
But they still have a traditional point guard on the floor.
They do.
They still have a traditional, it doesn't work without that offense doesn't work without Steve Nash. Now. And now you have Chris Paul. Although you have the beard, you still have Chris Paul on the floor, who is the traditional point guard,
and he can regulate things, right?
That regulates
just
things.
Slow it down when it needs to be slowed down because they will outrun themselves.
Yeah.
Exactly,
and they've shown it. They'll just outrun themselves from time to time. Just where are you going? Why are you over there? Stop being over there.
Yeah.
And I just think Kyrie's game is not that would fit that system. I don't think there is a system that, like they said earlier, I don't think there is a system that Kyrie would buy into.
No,
I think Kyrie.
Not if he's the lead dog. If he's forced to be a second fiddle, it'll work like he was, like you said in Cleveland, where he can afford to sit off on the side, and if he has a lead dog who decides to make the best play and just get Kyrie the ball and say, look, it's 7 seconds on the shot clock, go get us a bucket. That'll work. But you're right, to hand the ball to Kyrie off the inbounds and have him dribble for 22 seconds does not work.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when all those murmurs was going around about the San Antonio buying in and saying they'll do Kyrie for Leonard, was that a huge mistake for the Celtics not even entertaining that deal?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
I totally agree.
I would have jumped on that if I was Boston.
Dude, Kawhi is man. I can't wait for the next question. Let's just put it like that. But Kawhi is he's in a different place right now.
Yeah, yes. Well, perfect segue, Jay. So with that, so last question before we get into trivia. Jay, who has been, I'm guessing you're going with Kawhi, but who's been the best player in the playoffs thus far?
I wish y'all could see the lack of enthusiasm that's on my face right now as I do my best Kawhi Leonard impression. No smiling, no nothing. Like it doesn't matter.
Kawhi laugh.
But then right back to the straight face, like you know, you gotta. It's not even. Kawhi is in a different. Like I literally just sat here and watched him try and dunk on the state of Pennsylvania. At the very least, the East Side is like you said. He tried to. It was, but he did it repeatedly.
Yeah, I think he dumped on a couple Eagles and Flyers and Steelers.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Everybody in PA.
He tried to dunk on PA. Like it wasn't cool. The worst part about it is after watching Giannis dunk on everything in Massachusetts, I feel like Giannis tried to dunk on me yesterday. Like, it wasn't cool. I was on the couch like, dude, I wasn't even under the rim. But Kawhi's been playing out of his mind. Now, and this is like, Kevin has been doing all that he could. KD has been doing all that he can for the Warriors team. Dame has been doing all he can for the Blazers team. Nikola Jokic, the Joker. Is it a soft J like we're yogging?
You're right.
It's a soft J. So, but he's such a trip. Like I honestly I can't wait till he gets more mature in the league, because he's pretty close to unguardable already, being as big as he is and having the offense run through him. But Kawhi has elevated his game to a next level place. Like, he's making shots that you don't see every day. He's a video game right now. Like, that's one of my favorite things to say about him is if I'm playing 2K, I know that if I have Kawhi, I'm gonna get 30 on you.
Right.
Now, are the other pieces gonna put themselves where they're supposed to be? Sure. Sure. You know, with the question mark at the end. Sure. But Kawhi's been the best player in the playoffs thus far.
Okay.
But I do love what Giannis is doing. Don't get it twisted. I love what Giannis is doing. I love what KD is doing. But Kawhi's been the best.
Okay. All right. Yosh, who's been the best player in the playoffs thus far?
I'm gonna make this as quick as possible. I mean, I agree with everything West Coast Jay said. It is Kawhi Leonard without a doubt. For the playoffs, he's averaging 32, 7 and 7 rebounds a game. He's shooting 58% from the field and 50% from 3-point shooting range. And in this series alone, against right now, he's averaging 38 points on 62% shooting. I mean, his PER is the number one in the playoffs, and it's tough to say, and he's doing it on both ends of the floor. Like, he's scoring and then he's defending.
Like the defensive player of the year on numerous occasions.
Exactly. And then Max Kellerman earlier, I was listening to the First Take podcast, and he said when you say the name Kawhi Leonard, what's the first thing that comes to mind? And they was like, well, defense. He's like, yeah, like he was known, he's universally known for his defense, but this defensive player in this round is averaging 38 points a game, and he's had a couple of 40-point games. And he's taking smart shots because he's got the best field goal percentage in the playoffs. And I mean, KD is playing amazing. And Giannis is playing out of his mind. And Joel Embiid for one game played extremely well. And he's his own worst enemy. But at the end of the day, I think that Kawhi Leonard has been the best player in these playoffs.
All right. Pooh, what you think?
Well, I'm gonna say KD.
Okay.
I can't go anything. I don't have anything bad to say about Kawhi. He's definitely been he's been looking unreal. He's better than what it's almost like he's better than what I thought he was. All that crazy stuff that people were saying. Yeah, we don't know. It's been a year since he's played. I wouldn't give up this and that and the third for Kawhi. Dude, most of them now wish they would have given it up.
Damn right.
Because he's a total, absolute stud.
Like, Pooh, could you imagine Kawhi instead of Kyrie in Boston right now?
Hey. I mean, yeah.
That team is not losing for some time.
Right. No, I agree with that. And I was I was cursing out this Celtics fan. I was like, man, y'all must have forgot. I hit the Roy Jones on them. Y'all must have forgot what Kawhi is. And he wasn't even playing offensively like this. A few years back in San Antonio. He hadn't eclipsed that level yet. Not offensively. Now it's just unbelievable. Yeah. However, I'm signed with KD. He averaged 38 throughout the playoffs, 8 boards, 52% from the field. And I heard Yosh reeling off Kawhi's numbers. He's a tad bit better because I think KD's 38 from the 3. But I think Kyrie is playing. I'm sorry, Dad. We're talking about Kyrie so much. I'm throwing up Kyrie. I'm talking sports out my ass. But I think Kevin. It's almost like if he had more shots, he'll score more. And I know that's almost like a redundant rhetorical thing, but it's almost like Steph and them like, well, I got to get some shots off.
Got to get some shots up.
Because they pretty much iced him. What was that, Saturday night? He came out, dropped 12 straight, the fourth quarter, trying to bring them back, trying to get the dub. And, man, he didn't touch another ball, take another shot till a few seconds left in the game. So I just think I'm gonna side with KD. I just think that he's not saying at another level, but I just think he's just playing a tad bit. I can't say better. I'm gonna just go with KD.
But I think that could also be a detriment to KD's case because he has other guys who can take the load off of him.
And I considered that as well. I did because
that's the point.
I considered that as well.
Yeah, and Pooh, that's the point I'm making that I was going to bring up. If not only now here's what and Pooh, you know this. You have 2 of the greatest shooters to ever play the game.
All time. Okay?
Of all time. 2 of probably top 5, top 3. You got 2 of the top 5 shooters in the game, right? That spreads the floor, which allows KD a lot. And you have a Draymond Green who can score.
And Andre Iguodala,
who people forget was an all-star in Philly
22 years ago. Go ahead.
No, the MVP
man,
and was the finals.
That's a finals MVP.
Finals MVP a couple years ago. So let's not
averaging 14 points a game. Go ahead though.
Yeah, no, but he's still.
It ain't all about points though, Pooh. We don't want to do this, man.
I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Andre Iguodala for Secretary
what are you just saying?
Defense.
Don't make it sound like he's the second coming though.
No, I'm not making it sound.
That's your translation, Pooh.
I'm bringing up facts. The fact of the matter is,
you putting those words in his mouth. Ain't nobody said nothing about second coming. All he said was he was an all-star and he was the Finals MVP.
And his okay, so that allows them to spread the floor, which means KD can't get double teamed, which allows him to put up the numbers that he does put up, which are KD's numbers are 35 points per game and 5 rebounds. Okay? And he's only shooting 42%. Mind you, he's only seeing one defender. Kawhi Leonard has better numbers facing double teams damn near every possession.
Yep.
So you can't, there's no way you can say that if you put Kawhi in that same situation, his numbers are probably not as high as it is because he wouldn't have to do as much work, but his efficiency in the midst of being double teamed versus the efficiency of Durant in single team, like being one-on-one, you cannot deny, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. You just can't deny what the man is doing. And it's opinion based. This is all opinion based. But I'm when I look at the numbers, because I thought about Durant.
Me too.
Durant is not seeing a double team every time down the floor. When Kawhi gets the ball, unless he's hustling and putting back an offensive rebound, that man is seeing a double team because they're daring other people to score, and other people are not scoring.
And since I just said we're not just talking about scoring, Durant rarely has to guard the other team's best offensive player.
Exactly.
Kawhi always does. And so that's why I keep saying it's not just about points. It's so many other aspects of the game that Kawhi affects that KD doesn't even have to touch. And I made this like scenario a couple years ago about KD. And as much of a bitch as he is to guard and as talented as he is, we've seen what he is when he's not surrounded by all-star talent. And we've seen what he is. And so to me, it's like if you're making $50,000 a year and your wife is making $80,000 a year, life is great. But let your wife lose her job and see how hard it is to make ends meet. And how much of a focal point those little things become. See how much you pay attention to the light bill, how much you pay attention to the mortgage. When you got help around you, you ain't got to worry about when that auto draft coming out of your account. But let you lose that help, and then you start focusing on those dates. KD don't have to focus on those dates like that. He don't got to worry about when the light bill coming out of his account. He can do whatever the hell he want to do and score 50 because life is great. Kawhi don't have that luxury.
With that analogy, KD is doing he paying bills 2 months in advance.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I always call him Kevin who lives in the basement. Like he's that dude that, he lives in your basement. He's a great guy. Everybody likes him because he's so damn talented. He's funny as fuck. He always, life of the party. And so if he don't pay bills, who cares? Because everybody likes Kevin. But if he decides to, chip in $200 this month on the rent, great. But he ain't got to because you still got to pay the mortgage anyway. You know what I'm saying? So because life or death ain't going to matter. Like whether you getting evicted ain't going to matter if Kevin don't put up 50, if he don't put up 30. Toronto gonna feel that shit if Kawhi don't put up 30.
Yeah, who's left? Kyle Lowry?
Right. And so that's what I always say about it. Like until KD proves to me that
Danny Green?
Yeah.
And I love Danny Green.
Yeah, right. But
Pascal Siakam, that's another shout out for you, Pascal. That's the second time I done had to shout you out because you balling.
Right. But that's what I always say about Durant is just that like he can do a lot of things out of luxury. That a lot of players aren't afforded, and I won't be convinced otherwise until he shows that he can do it without surrounded by 4 other All-Stars. That's just, and again, like Yo said, it's subjective, it's opinion based. That's just that's my opinion on it. It's great. It looks very good, and at the end of the day, his legacy is going to be what it is. But I'm always going to remember that he basically playing on an All-Star team.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm a Warriors fan, so I love what KD is doing. I loved watching him decide that he got James at the end of the game last time. Like I loved watching those type things. Like, yeah, good job, Kevin. Step up in front of these people. Look at him showing off in front of company. Go ahead. Like that's fun to watch. But Kawhi doing this shit in the dark. In front of nobody
on a random Tuesday.
On the right, you feel me? And never cracking a smile. Oh, he's the worst with that one. The one of the commentators the other day made me laugh so hard because all he said was after the post game interview, you know, Kawhi gave his regular, you know, we got to play hard, you know, just got to keep playing together. We got to keep, you know, as long as we play smart, play hard, play together, yada yada yada, and walked off. The commentator said, I promise you that Kawhi Leonard is in his mind he's smiling, but it hasn't told his face yet.
Right. Yeah, and for that matter, you know, same thing for Giannis. Is if he don't, like, you know, if KD score 12 and 5 and go 5 for 23, they still probably gonna win. Giannis, Kawhi, they can't do that. Giannis did that shit and they lost by 26 in game 1. So. Yeah.
Like if KD scores 12, they're still Splash Brothers.
Right.
There's still a Dre triple double green. Like we lost for the first time that Draymond has triple doubled on Saturday. That's the first time that we've ever lost in the time anytime he's triple doubled.
Yeah. Right. And so that's what it's as great as it looks, man.
But I love that you love KD though. Warrior.
Hey, I'm totally not against anything you guys said. However, I don't think that's takeaways from what KD does and can do and is doing.
Yep. Like right now, I gotta be honest. I think that even if it was a double team, right now Kevin's in a different zone. Like he is elevating on anybody in the league. Patrick Beverly probably said that best. Like that's Kevin Durant. Well, he can score on anybody you want to score on, whenever you want to score on him. I just like that he looks like he cares about defense right now. That's what I like.
Yeah. I want to see him do it when he has to. When he always has to, not when he chooses to.
I mean, yeah, because those Seattle teams went nowhere.
Right, yeah, and OKC. I mean, they went to the finals but got drubbed. But you know, and I just think like we said about Kyrie earlier, I think there's a lot that goes into when you have to be the leader and all the stress and everything falls on your shoulders. It ain't quite so easy to, you know, to get those buckets when you got to do everything else. So I just always, that's just me. I always have a respect for dudes who do it when it has to be done, not always just when they want to do it. That's just how KD comes across to me. So, but sorry to gang up on you, Pooh. But
nah, it's all good. Because to me, right now, from what I see from the Warriors, I think KD has to do it.
Yes, so I agree with you 100%.
From what I see from the Warriors,
we picking out 3 games out of that's what I'm saying.
I'm thinking about the playoffs. I mean, Steph is not playing well. Claire's not playing well. To me, KD has to do it.
In this series.
So they played well last week?
Yeah, they did. Minus 1 game. And shit, KD didn't play well last series. If we basing it off how everybody, they didn't play up to how they used it. We talked about that. Like, they don't respect how great they are. So they go into these lulls where they all play bad. But I think
Nah,
it's too
Kevin
small.
is since
I think
game
it's too
2 of the
small
last series.
I think it's too small of a sample. Even if we taking it off of both series, it's just too small of a sample size to say that changes everything over the course of his career. Right?
Fair enough.
Or even just this season. But I don't think KD played well enough throughout the entirety of the last series and the entirety of this series to override what Giannis and Kawhi have done. They haven't taken a minute off, either one of them. Like KD's taking games off.
The first 2 games of the last series.
Right. Yeah.
Pat Beverly was in his head for no reason.
Like, because I don't know, like KD always get built-in excuses for me. You let Kawhi or LeBron or Ben Simmons let a 6'1" point guard take them out of the game. What people gonna say? But KD always gets the excuse. So we'll see. But in any case, I'm ready to stump y'all in some trivia. Y'all ready to get stumped? Ain't nobody answer.
I mean,
so
I don't
maybe
get
y'all
stumped.
think I ain't gonna stump y'all.
We already know about this championship belt. I don't get stumped.
All right. So categories are. Hold on, let me pull it up here and make sure. Yoshi, you still here? Yeah, so I figured Yoshi might have jumped off and got ready for school tomorrow. All right. So categories are NFL draft bust, NBA draft bust, NFL draft steals, undrafted NFL players, and 3 men in a draft class. It's all draft all the time. All right, so categories are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Every category that you can get double in, you give me the player, you get single points. You give me what college they went to, you get double points. And for the 3 men in a draft class, I give you 3 men who came out of that draft class. If you give me the year that draft class was, you get single points. If you give me the team that drafted them, you get double points. Clear enough?
Got it.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. And just to clarify, Yoshi, you still here? Yoshi's gone. All right, Pooh, you up first. Where you going?
I'm going with NFL draft bust.
All right. What point level?
30.
For 30. All right. Selected with the 4th pick in the 2008 NFL Draft, this blazing fast running back was overdrafted despite his inability to break tackles or stay healthy.
2008.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
2008.
2, 1.
Oh, wow. Lawrence Phillips.
That would be Darren McFadden.
D-Mac.
The Raiders.
D-Mac.
All right.
You ain't give me, I ain't get nothing. I ain't get nothing out of that. Oh.
All right, Jay.
Let me have NBA draft bus.
NBA
Was that a
draft
thing?
bus. Yep. What point level?
Let's stay with the 30.
30. All right. Taken 2nd overall just after LeBron and picked over Melo, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh. Who is this guy?
Darko Milicic.
Darko Milicic is the answer. All right. 30 for Jay. All right, Pooh.
NFL for the 40.
NFL draft bust for 40?
Yeah.
All right. One of 5 quarterbacks selected in the first 12 picks. This bust was taken 3rd overall by the Cincinnati Bengals between Donovan McNabb and Edgerrin James.
Donovan McNabb, Edgerrin James. Kitna.
9. Oh, incorrect. Right team affiliation. Achilles Smith.
Achilles.
Forgot about Achilles Smith.
What was he, a beaver? What was he, a beaver?
Oregon. He was a duck.
Achilles?
He was a duck. Beavers and ducks.
All right.
I should have had that one.
All right, Jay.
Give me NBA bus again. Let's go 40.
All right. NBA draft bust for 40. The first pick in the 1980 NBA draft by the Golden State Warriors. He quickly proved to be far below average, thus resulting in one of the funniest nicknames in NBA history. 10.
Hey, what's the
9.
nickname?
Can't tell you the nickname. If I gave you the nickname, it would have been a 10-pointer.
From the
10.
He was a Warriors.
8, 7,
1980.
6,
Wow.
5,
I was born in 1980. Why would I know this offhand?
2.
I'm gonna go with.
Need an answer. No.
Yeah, Christian Okoye was my answer.
Answer is Joe Barry Carroll. The nickname they gave him, this is hilarious, always been great to me, it's Joe Barely Cares. That's why it would have been too easy to give him. All right. But yeah, Joe Barry Carroll from Purdue University.
Let me go. I got to get on the board, B. Let me go NFL. Dad, let me jump out there for the 50.
NFL draft bust for 50?
Yeah.
All right. Selected with the 3rd pick in the 1994 NBA draft, this SEC passer was
NFL?
fabled. I'm sorry, NFL draft. Huh? Yeah, 1994 NFL draft. Sorry. This SEC passer was fabled to throw a football so hard that it tore the laces off the ball.
SEC passer, 3rd overall.
9.
Wow.
8.
1994.
6.
Danny Warfel?
Incorrect.
God damn it.
That would be Heath Schuler from University of Tennessee.
Schuler, that son of a God.
Rocky.
Heath Schuler played baseball?
No, they were saying he threw a football so hard that he tore the laces off.
No, I got that. I was just wondering if he played baseball.
No, but he was a representative of the 11th district in North Carolina.
True.
Went into politics. Now he's a businessman in Charlotte.
No.
All right. Jay, on you.
Well, let's stick with the draft bust, the NBA draft bust for what's left, 10, 20, 50?
Yep.
50.
All right. NBA draft bust for 50. This 7'3", 2nd overall pick by the Memphis Grizzlies in 2009. He was praised by many as the second coming of Dikembe Mutombo.
Wow.
10, 9, 8, 7,
Grizzlies.
6.
Wow.
5.
And 09. This is the worst.
3, 2, 1.
Dude, it's one of them African bastards. God damn it.
It is. His name is Hashim Thabit.
His name is Hashim Thabit.
Yeah, from University of Connecticut.
Thabit.
Yeah.
Thabit.
Yeah. All right, Pooh.
I got to get on the board, man. I guess give me that NFL for the 20. I got to get on the board.
NFL for 20. This hulking offensive tackle was taken 2nd overall in the 1989 NFL draft. The Packers selected him over players such as Barry Sanders, Derek Thomas, and Deion Sanders in the top 5.
And I just saw a special on this kid.
10, 9, 8.
He was like 6'7", right?
6,
oh, what's that kid
5,
name?
4, 3, 2.
What's his name? Behringer
1.
or something like that? Kurtner, Behringer? What's that kid? God, I don't know. What is it?
Tony Mandrich.
Mandrick. God. I just seen this.
Yeah.
I had no.
No, I just saw this. When like 6'7", something like that?
Yeah.
I'm going to get that out there.
Yeah.
I just seen it.
Michigan State. It was on steroids and held out his rookie year. And
it was you.
Wanted to fight Mike Tyson and all kinds of stuff.
Man, I just seen
it.
Like a month ago, I just seen this. Yeah.
All right, Jay.
NBA bus for the 20.
NBA bus for 20. The Clippers drafted this big man over Antoine Jameson, Vince Carter, Dirk Nowitzki, Paul Pierce, and Rashard Lewis in 1998. First overall.
Wow.
10.
The Clippers.
9,
let me think.
8.
Oh, the Candyman, Michael Olowokandi.
Michael Olowokandi. That is correct. And for double points, can you give me what school he went to?
Candyman went to the University of. He wasn't in Connecticut as well, was he?
No, he was not. Michael the Candyman went to the University of the Pacific.
UOP. UOP. That's hilarious.
Oh, what is it?
Good old Puget Sound.
What is it? 50 Love?
50 Love at this point. Yes.
Man, I gotta get 10. Give me 10 with the NBA draft bus, man.
All right. The first in a long line of draft busts by Michael Jordan, which included Adam Morrison, DJ Augustine, Frank Kaminsky, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and Cody Zeller. This 7-footer quickly became the laughingstock of the league after he was selected number 1 overall in 2001.
What is Kwame last name?
10.
Damn.
9. 8.
Kwame
7,
Brown. Kwame Brown.
Kwame Brown. Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's my man. That's my man first cousin.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
What college did Kwame go to?
He didn't go to college at all. Drafted straight out of high school.
That is correct. All right, 20 for Pooh.
He will always be known for Phil Jackson going, well, in practice.
Yeah. All right, Jay. Y'all done took out all the categories in NBA draft bus. There is a 10 left in NFL draft bus if you want to go there.
Let's go with the bus. The bus are always way more fun. Let me have the bus for 10.
All right. This big arm quarterback drafted 2nd overall in the 1998 NFL draft.
Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf, yes, sir. Do you know what college you went to for the double?
Delaware State.
Incorrect.
No.
Washington State.
Washington
Damn
State.
it.
Yeah.
I thought he was Delaware. Who went to Delaware State that I'm thinking of?
Joe Flacco went to Delaware.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So you got everything left in NFL draft steals, undrafted NFL players, and 3-man in a draft class NBA style.
NFL draft steals for the 30.
NFL draft steals for 30. Thought by many to be too small and too weak-armed, this potential GOAT was drafted in the 3rd round in 1979.
79? What in the world? 79?
10.
Ken Stabler.
Oh, incorrect. Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
Oh, Broadway Joey.
All right, Jay.
79. Damn it.
Let's continue that one with the draft steals for 30.
That was 30.
No, let's do it for.
Yeah.
Let me go down one. If Joey Montana was numbered, let me go down one. Let me go to 20.
20. All right. Drafted in the 6th round by the Steelers as a humble, hard-working special teamer, he is now a former Steeler and a not-so-humble, hard-working perennial All-Pro.
Wow.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
still working, Steeler.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow. I honestly don't remember this off the top of my head.
Wow, you don't know it?
Antonio
No.
Brown.
AB.
How about this whole time I never once thought of AB as a 6th rounder?
Oh, wow, really? Wow. Yeah.
Hilarious. All right.
Wow.
All right, Pooh.
Let me get that. Let me get it for the 10. Let me get it. Let me get on the board. Yeah.
All right. Unquestionably the greatest steal in NFL draft history. This quarterback has won 6 Super Bowls for the New England Patriots.
Oh, Tommy Brady.
Tom Brady. That might be
Michigan.
the easiest answer of the game.
Michigan.
Tom Brady went to Michigan. Correct. 20 points for Pooh.
20 for Pooh.
And he split time. I get all that for that too?
If you could tell me who he split time with.
He split time the kid drafted by Dallas. What was that damn kid's name?
What's up with that countdown?
Tom Brady.
He didn't get the points anyway, but yeah, he did
Drew.
split time.
It was Drew Bledsoe.
Drew
Henson.
No,
Drew Henson. Henson. Yeah, Henson. Yeah.
Henson.
Henson.
Drew Bledsoe was Ryan Leaf's predecessor at Washington State, ironically.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, Henson.
All right. Jay, it's on you.
All right, let me do. Let's see what 3 minute of draft class is talking about.
All right. What point
Let me do that for the. Let's go with 30. See what it's talking about.
All right. So I'll give you 3 names. You give me what year this draft class was, and if you can give me the team that drafted each player, you get double. All right. Magic Johnson, Bill Cartwright, and Bill Laimbeer. Which year were they drafted?
Jesus, early 80s. 80.
8, 7.
I'm going to have to go with 84.
Wow. Oh, that is incorrect.
Damn it.
1979.
Damn.
Well, that's about the only one I'm going to know, too.
Magic drafted, of course, by the Lakers.
Yeah.
You know who Bill Cartwright was drafted by?
Not the Bulls.
The Knicks.
The Knicks, yeah.
And Bill Laimbeer, you know who he was drafted by? I didn't even know this one.
Oh, Detroit didn't draft him?
No, I thought that too. The Cavaliers drafted Bill Laimbeer.
Oh, wow.
Oh, all right.
All right. Pooh, it's on you.
Man, let me bring that thing down to the 20, man.
The draft class? 3 men in the draft
Yeah,
class?
the draft. Yeah, 3 minute draft class.
All right. 3 men in the draft class for 20. Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, and Ray Allen.
96?
1996 is correct. And who was Kobe drafted by?
The Charlotte Hornets.
Yes. Who was Allen Iverson drafted by?
The Philadelphia 76ers.
And who was Ray Allen drafted by?
The Seattle Supersonics.
That is incorrect. Ray Allen was drafted by the Minnesota
the Milwaukee
Timberwolves.
Bucks.
Nope.
Who?
The Minnesota
Wolves?
Timberwolves, and traded immediately for Stephon Marbury.
Ray Allen?
They were traded on draft night. Yep.
Now, who was drafted by who?
The Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh,
And
but
traded
so it was
for Starbury.
It was a 3-way deal?
No, they were.
It was
Starbury started his career in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started in Minnesota, but he went to. Oh, I don't know. I'm lost right now.
Seattle drafted Starbury.
Seattle drafted Starbury, and they immediately traded their draft rights.
Oh, Seattle drafted Starbury. Okay. I don't know what I was thinking about.
Yeah. I was like, who's the third team you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ain't even hear you say Seattle. Once you said, nah, they ain't draft him, I was lost.
Yeah.
I dumped Seattle at that point.
All right, Jay.
I don't like 3 men in the squad. I'm going to get that. Or 3 men in the draft class. I'm going to get that out there.
What are my points?
You got 20.
Oh, 20 from that.
Yeah.
So it's 60-50?
60, no, 60 to 60.
60-60?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Jay got Ryan Leaf for the 10.
Okay.
Let me see. Draft steals. What's left?
NFL draft steals, you got 40 and 50.
40 and 50, yeah.
Give me the 50 then.
That's what it is.
All right. NFL draft steals for 50. A fifth-round pick in 1985 by the Los Angeles Rams, this pass rusher finished his career with 160 sacks and is now a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 10, 9,
fifth-round
8,
pick.
7,
Los Angeles,
6, 5, 4, 3.
Kevin
2.
Green.
Kevin Green is correct. Good one.
Wow.
And you know what college you went to?
Kevin Green was in the SEC. Kevin Green was in the SEC.
9, 8, 7,
LSU?
Close. Auburn.
Damn it.
All right. All right. Jay put up a 50 to get some separation. Pooh, go.
I need you to know I hate the Rams. I just want that on the record.
No, I figured.
Oh, that was good stuff. What's left out there? I know that's left for the 40. Steals for the 40. And what else out there?
You also have everything in undrafted NFL players. And you have 3 men in the draft class for 10, 40, and 50.
Undrafted for 40. Oh, no, for 30.
Undrafted for 30. All right, undrafted NFL players for 30. After a prolific college career, this now Hall of Fame quarterback went undrafted and was forced to initially go to the CFL to prove he was worthy of NFL consideration.
Warren Moon.
Warren Moon is correct.
Should be correct. Yes,
Do you
sir.
know where he went to college?
Warren Moon played for Houston?
That was in the NFL. He played for Houston. But he went to the University of Washington.
Washington. I often say, why I see him in a red jersey.
Maybe when he was in the CFL. I don't know.
Maybe so. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. I know it wasn't the Oilers. Yeah.
All right,
I'll
Jay?
take the 30.
Yep.
All right, so we got undrafted left. We got the 40. What was the 40 in? The 40 was in steals, right?
40 in steals.
We had the steals back.
You got steals back? All right,
Yeah.
NFL draft steals. This defensive lineman, a 1991 seventh-round pick by the Dallas Cowboys, went on to have a successful 11-year career, making 2 Pro Bowls and winning 3 Super Bowls.
Wow.
The Cowboys.
10, 9,
The
8,
Cowboys.
7, 6,
Not
5,
Charles.
3, 2.
Fucking Leon Lett. Ha ha ha.
Leon Lett is correct. You know what college you went to?
He wasn't drafted?
No, he was a steal. He was a 7th rounder.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wichita State?
That is incorrect. He went to Emporia State.
I was in Kansas, god damn it.
All right. All right. Jay got 40 out of that. All right. Pooh. Jay walking away from you.
Nah, I need a 50.
Yeah.
You up 60, right?
Yep.
I need a 50. What do I have in 50s?
50s, you have undrafted NFL players and 3 men in the draft class, NBA style.
Give me undrafted.
All right. Undrafted NFL players for 50. An alum of Whitmire, South Carolina High School and South Carolina State University, he went undrafted before winning 4 rings with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 1970s. He should also be a Hall of Famer.
Bro, is that he's Whitmire for real?
Yeah.
I thought it was a damn joke.
Did you say he should also be a Hall of Fame?
Should
What
also
kind
be
of
a Hall of
Steeler
Fame.
fan shit is this?
He should. It's widely. He's one of the players whose name comes up when people say players that should be in the Hall of Fame.
I'm calling Steeler shenanigans for you, Pooh.
Right. Steelers for the Steelers.
Steeler shenanigans.
Right.
He should be a Hall of Famer.
And
Who
he
says
should
that?
be. And straight from Steeler Nation, he should be a Hall of Famer. But they got tired of putting Steelers into the Hall of Fame, and they was like, "Dude, that's enough." So it's like 3 more players off of them 70 squads that should be in the Hall of Fame. But I digress.
From Whitmire.
Yeah, 10.
You don't even have to count down. I don't know it.
Oh, Donnie Shell.
Donnie Shell, Mr. Shell. God damn it.
That Art Shell uncle? Like
No.
who?
No, he actually played against Art Shell in the 70s.
All right.
Yeah. Donnie Shell. He also goes to my mom's church, by the way.
I was just about to say, because like the family was educators and too, right? Some of them was educators.
Yeah.
That's why I say Mr. Shell. I should have known that. They always talk about Mr. Shell people played for the Steelers. I should have known that.
Yeah. All right, Jay, where we going?
What's left?
You have, let's see, 10, 20, and 40 in undrafted players, 10, 40, and 50 in 3-man in a draft class.
I hate 3-man in a draft class. Let me have we have the 10 in not 3-man in a draft class.
All right, so 10 in undrafted NFL players. This undersized linebacker out of the MAC was cut 13 times before sticking with the Pittsburgh Steelers, going on to become a Defensive Player of the Year and the author of arguably the greatest play in Super Bowl history.
Wow.
10.
That's James Harrison.
That's
James Harrison. All day and all night. James Harrison.
10 more for Jay. Okay. Pooh, what you got?
What else out there for 10? I need some short points.
3-man in the draft class.
Yeah, give me that.
All right. The 3 names are LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, dang. What? Isn't that 2004?
2003.
2000.
Yeah.
Who's both from?
Yeah. Cavs, Heat, Nuggets, of course.
Cavs, Heat, Nuggets, yeah.
You gonna give them the schools just for it?
Marquette,
none,
Syracuse,
and
Marquette and Syracuse.
Yeah. All right, Jay, what you got?
I still hate 3-men in a squad. So what's left in undrafted? You said 20 and 40?
20 and 40.
Give me 20.
All right. Undrafted NFL players for 20. Undrafted in 2004, this tiny wide receiver was just a return guy before signing with the New England Patriots, becoming one of the preeminent slot receivers of his generation.
Oh, God. This dude, he starts
10,
with
9,
T. Fucking 8, starts with a T.
7, 6.
His name is
5, 4.
No, I'm thinking about a cornerback. I'm thinking about Ty Law this whole time. That's
1.
hilarious.
Yeah, you tripping.
No idea. No idea.
That would be Wes Welker, sir.
Wes Welker.
That makes a whole lot of sense, actually.
Wow.
I'm starting with a T in my mind.
Well,
Texas
that's
Tech,
what I'm
right?
about to say. Maybe
that's
you
why I'm
thinking about
starting
his
with a
school.
T.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the T in my mind. Of course, he was Tech.
Oh, man.
And that was a 40? What was that?
That was a 20.
That was 20.
Oh, 20. Boy, that would have been good. That would have been 40. I needed that. Damn it. Let me get whatever you got. What's left? Damn it. I needed
got
that.
undrafted for 40. And 3-man in the draft class for 40 and 50.
Oh, man.
And since Yoshi left us, we do have one final question that will be a toss-up because it's an extra question. So whoever answers first gets it.
Give me 50. Give me that.
For 3-man in the draft class?
Yeah.
All right.
I need a bucket.
3-man in the draft class for 50. Mark Aguirre, Isaiah Thomas, Tom Chambers. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
81?
1981 is correct.
Okay.
Do you know who drafted Mark Aguirre?
I don't, but I'm going to say Portland.
It's incorrect. Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, he did get traded from the Mavericks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Isaiah to the Pistons. Tom
Right.
Chambers drafted by the Clippers.
By the clip. Oh, I didn't know Chambers either.
But you got 50.
Yeah.
All right, Jay. You can put the game away with this one, or we will go into a toss-up question for the game.
Yeah.
All right. What we got both of them left, and I have been avoiding 3 men. Let me just see what it does. 3 men for the 40.
3 men in the squad.
Yeah.
3 men in the draft class for 40. Patrick Ewing, Chris Mullin, Benoit Benjamin.
Wow.
That is the 85 draft.
That is 1985. Yes, sir.
Lottery thing.
Who drafted Patrick Ewing?
The year after
New
Michael.
York Knicks drafted Patrick Ewing.
Chris Mullin.
The Golden State Warriors drafted Chris Mullin.
And Benoit Benjamin.
This is the problem.
Hey,
Benoit Benjamin was drafted by God. I had these basketball cards. I'm trying to play them back in my head.
That's what makes me remember Benoit Benjamin too. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Was it the Clippers?
It was the Clippers. Yes, sir. Jay wins the game.
I still got the cards in an album right now.
Oh, man. So just for shits and giggles, we'll throw out this last undrafted NFL player. See who gets it right. This undrafted player in 2001 was a tight end in college, but quickly established himself as one of the best left tackles of his generation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jason Peters, Philadelphia Eagles, University of Arkansas.
Really?
Tight end?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a Hall of Fame tackle.
Yeah, right. He was initially signed by the Buffalo Bills.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. He was
I remember the trade. I remember they traded.
Yeah. Well, he was a big old tight end in college.
What did they trade him for?
I can't remember because they wasn't gonna be able to re-sign him and they traded him. I think
they traded him for.
Was it Shady?
I think it was Shady.
Yeah, I think it was Shady.
That sounds right. That sounds right because Shady's in Buffalo and Jason Peters was in Philly.
Yeah. But they paid Shady though.
Eventually, yeah.
So,
and what's called wanted to get rid of Shady. You know, he was cleaning the house in Philly.
Chip.
Chip, yeah. Dumbass Chip Kelly. That didn't last long.
But Shady had damn near won the MVP the year before that.
Yeah, but Chip Kelly just didn't like him.
Yeah, you know.
Right. Yeah. And Shady didn't like him, so he was a dick.
Yeah. It was just a straight up double, just like, I'm out. Well, you could go then.
Yeah. Chip was getting rid of everybody in Philly. So,
he did.
Yeah. All right, well, Pooh, you won, man. What you got for me?
No, I didn't win.
I'm sorry, Jay. You won. What you got for me?
Right. No, like, he win.
He said Pooh did what now?
Right.
I would like to give a special shout out to my personal mother, and then a shout out to everybody else's mother for this coming Mother's Day on Sunday. I would also like to give a special happy birthday to a good friend of mine. Jamie Calendar, it'll be your 40th birthday, so happy birthday to you. Past that, Pooh, thank you for appreciating Kevin Durant.
No doubt, no doubt. And I definitely want to, second that with the mothers for Mother's Day. I definitely want to piggyback on that. And I also want to thank, all the educators, whatever you're doing inside the school building, taking care of other people's children, just on that quest of making society better. I definitely want to salute you guys. Keep doing it. You definitely don't do what you do to become rich. So, thanks a lot for you guys.
100%. I agree with that as well.
Yes, sir. All right. Yes, definitely want to echo you guys' sentiments. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, especially my mom and my wife. Don't know what I would have done without you, Ma. Probably wouldn't be here. Well, I definitely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. But even after I was born, I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And, and to my wife, I don't know what I would do without you on a day-to-day because these kids drive me crazy. So,
hilarious. Quick shout out to Money real quick. True that. You know what I'm saying? On the way out, though, you already know what it is. If you're not defying life,
right?
You're not rocking with Defy Life. What is your life about?
No doubt. We thought Money wasn't here. And from Al, I ain't got nothing crazy for y'all tonight. I'm from New York. So, just a quick shout out to all of my educators out there who doing their thing with the kids. In New York, what they tell us, when I was raised in New York. Because in Queens, I was raised, there was, so I just want to say,
true that.
And by the way, I'm from New York.
Yeah, true that.
Yo, wow, man. Yo, you from Trinidad? I'm from Trinidad. Yo, wow.
And shout out to Regular Scott.
Scott, Ozzy Killmonger. The young V's.
Yo, Oz, man, I don't know where V's is, man. But I was gonna have an intro question, but I don't know where V's went. Yo, but it's okay. Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Oh, Oz, I did hear you say you said that intro is mad ill for the
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, the intro's sick. I like the intro a lot. For real. I laugh every single time I listen to it. You were born in the darkness.
Yeah.
So
I was a man.
That's what I was thinking when you said that, because now we can hold that over their head. That Pooh put their intro together, and I'm the voice of their commercial. So.
Even funnier.
So I can't wait
Gentlemen, y'all already know what this means, but you get for that commercial, Oz, you get a guardian with Mira's hair in Mr. Terrific's cornrows. You know what that is.
Oh yeah, with Jar Jar Binks on the side.
With Jar Jar Binks riding in the little buggy on the side.
Oh man, well guys, it's a great show. Again, Money, Al, we'll miss you tonight. Talk to you guys, and Al, be safe traveling. Not sure if you listen to this before you go, but Al will be traveling to South Africa because not only is his son graduating, but his daughter just got accepted into a program in South Africa for her school. So. Kids making Al proud, keeping him busy, keeping him traveling. So Al, safe travels. Money, safe travels to you, and all the best to your family. And again, this is episode 106 of the Defy Life podcast. It's JR, Thomas, West Coast J, and formerly Yoshi. We don't know what the hell happened to him. But we'll talk to y'all again next week. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy life.
Life, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
What's happening, world? Y'all excited to see this cold weather gone? Man, step into the spring with this Defy Life gear. Fashionable pieces for men, ladies, kids, with everything from tees, tanks, crop tops, leggings, swimwear, and more. Stand out with Defy Life gear. Get yours at defylifegear.com. And as always, if you're not rocking with Defy Life, what's your life about?